Why waste my time? Why would I waste my time? What is it gonna do? Why do I have to do all of that? What is it gonna do? We're all in three different.
I'm here now. I'm doing the best I can. Where are you now? Did your dreams come true? Here we go. An evil energy. Shubaki, get by my hand. Shubaki, now open your way. Shubaki, you can do it. Get up, get up, get up, get up, get up. To the top of the world.
I'll tell you.
Cut his mic now.
December 31st, 2025, 2:57 a.m.
Happy holidays. If you don't like happy holidays, then happy shut the fuck up. Welcome back to another installment of the Shinblade allegations. If you aren't up to speed, I advise you check out my previous videos for proper context, but if you really need a refresher, here's a rundown so we can get moving. Take it away, me! Angel20Z and her friend Shadow20Z attended Combo Breaker 2023. During the auction tournament that night, Shinblade offered a drink with her outside the venue and she accepted. Once they got outside, Angel said Shinblade began exhibiting weird behaviors that she marked as red flags, such as Marcus running to the car and briefly mentioning Angel's content featured on her Twitter account. Everything was fine until, by her account, after only having a few sips, he started groping her, then Shinblade whipped out his little Marcus, then got to being in front of her and begged to fuck her by saying, "Let me stick it in for 10 seconds, if you say you done, I'll pull out." Due to her experience with sex work, men have tried her like this before, so she's used to it. So Angel stayed in the car for about 5 minutes before deciding to leave. Her words, not mine. After stepping out of the car to get a bottle of her own to drink from, when she bent over to grab it, allegedly, Marcus took this opportunity to dry hump Angel, not caring if anyone saw them. Several people at the tournament were made aware of this taking place, including Fury, who said Angel was lying and claimed to be present with Shinblade at the time of the incident. However, he suddenly retracted his statement because his stance changed on the matter. And most importantly, Shadow, who was the first to know, and again, by Angel's account, already knew the situation was sexual assault. Both Angel and Shadow claimed to confront Shinblade at Combo Breaker. When that didn't work, they waited for Shinblade to confess what he did over the coming months. News didn't break until Shadow teabagged Shinblade in the Spirit Realm Weekly as a gotcha for knowing what he did to his best friend. And after some banter, posted the entire story on Twitter. The smoking gun brought forward was a 5-minute phone call Shadow had with Shinblade that told us nothing, paired with Angel's retelling of what took place. They made their Twitter space on January 2nd, 2 days after the story release, where people were allowed to discuss the situation at length, but it quickly boiled down to being an echo chamber with screaming matches.
Look, I'm gonna answer the. Hold on.
Just answer the.
Let me answer.
I'm asking the
question.
people who.
I'll tell you.
Cut his mic now.
When talks about involving police came up, not only did those in the space like Rick the Ruler, Angel, and Shadow avoid the topic, Shadow, who said his mom raised him to respect and protect women, had this to say about the topic.
Why
Been
waste my
7
time?
Hold on.
Why would I waste my
disagree.
time? What is it gonna do? We're
It's
all
been
in
7
three
months.
different states. She's in Ohio, I'm in Illinois, he's in Memphis. Why do I have to do all of that? What is that gonna do?
Angel filed a police report on January 5th, 2024, 3 days after the space and 7 months after the alleged assault. The report had additional information missing from her original story, like Angel convincing Shadow the experience was assault, compared to her saying Shadow already knowing her situation was classified as such. The mention of her OnlyFans instead of her Twitter, but most importantly, being moved to a secluded part of the parking lot where this took place, something that was never brought up until the police report. Additionally, Shadow also had access to the report months prior to Angel posting it, yet couldn't or didn't say anything under Angel's orders. For some reason, Angel was upset that the police couldn't help her, and used it as proof to further back up her claims about how going to the police wouldn't solve anything. Oh man. I wonder if there is a faster method that would have had the police investigating this case much sooner. After the story went public, more people like Max Ninja, Texadecimal, Monty, and Halos all had their own stories about Shinblade with topics including sexual assault, threats, and so on. However, what was supposed to be a serious set of allegations against Shinblade turned into ghetto high school drama in a matter of days, resulting in TOs being slandered, harassment, doxing, a fight breaking out at DreamHack Atlanta, an ongoing chase to take Angel to court, and so much more. I'm not encouraging anyone to send the accusers this video since I know they won't watch it. If they decide to tune in, I know they're going to skip to the parts where I talk about them, kiki and haha about whatever I said, while trying to ignore anything I said throughout the video. There's a lot to go over, so how about we get started? During October of last year, a lot of stuff was being dumped about the victims. While the chaos was going on, I was notified about a story dealing with Monty. so fucking loud. They saying Monty's name should be registered and placed on neighborhood watch. What? What? Some girl who was rolling with him has a new Twitter page. She's exposing them right now, saying Monty grew up to minor and even having intercourse with Shinblade? I guess it's hinted. SV Beauty the Beast, or Lachey, came back with a new account and was rapidly posting her story. I announced that I saw it and will look over it later. Because of how fast she was posting, on top of it being very incoherent, since the thread had to be read starting from the bottom, it would take a while for me to go over everything and have a general understanding of what I was reading. I posted my synopsis, but it's bad. So, to summarize a few key points, Lachey was told by No Way Coda to come out and say that Shinblade raped her, impregnated her, then made her abort the baby, which wasn't true at the time since she was pregnant, but at some point had a miscarriage during her pregnancy. When she refused to dogpile Shinblade, those like Halos, Akatsuki, Tommy Kyra, and Angel herself began to attack her for not wanting to be part of the Trauma Dump Club, or the fake trauma hose as she likes to call it. She made it clear she was never a victim, nor was Shinblade her abuser. Further tweets show her fighting with Halos and Akatsuki, but according to Lachey, at Kumite in Tennessee, allegedly, Mani climbed on top of Akumu ass nigga without consent and he liked it enough to fuck her, but Shinobi XS pushed Halos off of Akumu. She also alleges Mani groped an unnamed 16 and 17-year-old at the same tournament. She also claims she was attacked by those like Tommy Kyra who called her a pick-me, and how Angel made a 10-minute video about her for not being a victim. Here she calls out Akatsuki for being a groupie, and does the same for Halos for calling her out of her name when she was pregnant. And since she lost a baby, she's ready to fight due to mutual combat laws. So remember how that dude said the story hinted Mani and Shinblade having sex? Well, going through the screenshots I grabbed, I came across this one right here.
During that time, Sir Gerald came and told me he saw Mani and Shin walking back to the venue from the parking lot. He said they looked like they had just got done doing some shit cause they were all smiley and shit.
Something that caught my eye was the mention of a parking lot. Even though she left it out in her original story, Angel mentioned Shinblade taking them to a parking lot at Combo Breaker in her police report. I don't have much to say about this right now, but I'm thinking Lachey was trying to tell us Shinblade likes to get around. That's what I think, but words can only tell us so much. Okay, tangent time. The thing that bothers me about Mani's story is that this happened in 2021, right? She's been in the FGC for 4 years but didn't post her story until February 12th, 2024, which again is about a month or so after the initial Shinblade story. She bloats her story with all this useless fucking fluff, but it isn't until the lower half is when she finally says what Shinblade did to her. Shinblade made you uncomfortable at KIT by trying to touch you inappropriately, and the mystery person you reported this to for help wants to stay anonymous. Shinblade responds basically saying none of this happened. They talked, went to get food, and he dropped her off at the motel and walked her to the door because there were other guys hanging around the motel. He says he was never drunk, and he even took pictures with Mani and her roommate. He said he heard a rumor about himself and Mani, which I'm assuming is what Sir Gerald told Lachey. But when he questioned her, she apparently had no idea what he was talking about. Go figure. On Mani's end, she said she'd never touched him. That in fact, Marcus made advances towards her, whatever that could entail, but she didn't think anything of it. Then, on October 11th, 2024, she finally gives us what we've been waiting for. Now Mani alleges Shinblade groped her, thought he was just intoxicated, continued to move on with her life, and continued to support him, until Shadow and everyone else began posting. So the conclusion I'm coming to is that Mani and Shinblade may have done something sexual at KIT, which leads to Mani posting her story about Shinblade. What was so hard about that? Like, why are you dancing around the fact someone groped you? She also said that she heard Mani say that Shinblade had a big ass dick at KIT 21. I don't know if that's relevant to the story, and I really don't care, so take that as you will. Shinblade can prove that for himself. If you wanted more context to those stories, I can't for reasons you'll see in a bit. She got upset when I didn't ask her questions, but I was going to once she stopped posting. For some reason, I didn't see what she tagged me in. I also saw her say things like, "You can DM me, or send this to PK so he can see it." I see that, then act accordingly by DMing her. Twitter used to play this hilarious prank on me where if I DM somebody for the first time, verified or not, my account will get locked, thus erasing everything I just wrote. I can get DMs from sugar daddies, art scammers, crypto wallet passwords, and even invitations from Sarah Williams because she thinks I'm an amazing candidate for the Illuminati. But God forbid if I DM somebody or like and retweet a post, the main gimmick of Twitter, You'll lock my account to make me translate ancient Egyptian text. Keep in mind Lachey told me she send me anything I need to know. I wasn't about to rewrite everything, so I explained to her what happened and then I'll check it out when I have the time. Eventually, I ended up seeing some of her tweets that I responded to, like the ones I'm showing right now, along with another one saying she told the story multiple times with evidence, but no one listened. Here's the problem with that last statement. From the time between the first video being made to when the second was in motion, her account was suspended. So I'm not sure how I or anyone else would see her story if her account didn't exist. Adding to this, just like with Shinblade, Angel, and Shadow, I didn't know who she was before this. How would I know she's exposing somebody when I didn't know anyone involved? As far as I knew, she may have been talking out of her ass. I mean, yeah, you can say that's what research is for, but my main objective was to cover the allegation, not whatever past history that wasn't relevant to me at the time. Later that day, I checked to see if she responded, and she blocked me. Okay, I guess we're doing this now. Nigga, I just got blocked behind you. I don't know who you are or anybody else. I'm here helping a friend fight against bitches who clearly aren't shit and you over here snooping for info like a news anchor. I just got word about you. Nah, I'm good. Let's break this down from the first point. I don't know who you are, which is a lie. You replied to my tweet the day I released my first video saying, "You're going to trigger so many people." Soon after, you sent me this message along with this screenshot.
Hey hun, I hope you didn't take offense to me saying you were going to trigger a bunch of people. I was actually being sarcastic. I put a whole thread out about her and her friend tried to snare me into claiming false allegations on Shinblade as well. I am all with exposing her bullshit. I didn't believe it when she came out with it. No one who has experienced anything like that will go, what else happened? Oh, that whole story was rehearsed. I appreciate you for not following the masses of sheep. We need more people to speak out and speak up. I have a whole text conversation the witness Shinblade spoke about sent me. He switched on Shinblade once everyone turned on him, which is fucked up. Here, take a look.
You were the only person to give me this screenshot of Fury the same day I uploaded my video. Not only that, but you literally said, "Send this to PK so we can see it." So you definitely have some idea of who I am. I'm gonna look at these last two statements saying, "I'm snooping for info like a news anchor," and "I just got word about you." You offered to share information with me several times. I even asked you for screenshots and you offered to find them. Yet all of a sudden, I'm snooping for information? Did you forget you gave this news anchor information before? 'Cause I didn't. I'd also like to know what you heard about me, but I'm positive it had something to do with Miss Kitty, who told you I'm not an ally and to not share anything with me. You're probably wondering how things escalated that quickly, but don't worry. The cat will be out of the bag soon. So I decided to give the full timeline of what happened between me and Miss Kitty, just by memory and a couple of notes that I have here. Since I'm extremely autistic, I did some estimations and found out that at that point, by October 31st, she'd been holding this grudge against me for about 5.5 months, right? May 14th was around the time I saw people talking about Angel's police report, talking about how she said she mentioned her OnlyFans rather than her Twitter, which is whatever to me, right? So I see Miss Kitty's post and I'm like, well, it's not that deep. It's just a contradiction, whatever. She's like, the devil is in the details, but you got the boss. I decided to end the conversation off like, detail these nuts. I don't know how that could be perceived as rude. It's a fucking joke. Unless I've been inside for too long, these nuts is a pretty universal joke at this point, right? She says, and I quote, "Fuck you disrespectfully. If you weren't intelligent enough to read and comprehend, then please get off my page as I do not have the crayons to explain the fucking thing to you." So I laugh at her because she got mad at me saying detail these nuts. She says some other shit. I move on. May 16th, so that's the rest of May. June, July, August, September 3rd. September 3rd, she's bitching and moaning in my comments. "Oh, you could have had a better video had you not insulted me. I could have helped you, yada, yada, yada." All this other bullshit, right? But she continues to argue in my comments with other people because she just needs to have the last word. So I basically do the same thing. I laugh at her, move on. October, I call her out for making that bullshit post against Fury because he wasn't going to see it. I call her a retard and a Facebook mom to go play Candy Crush. Now, mind you, she didn't get mad at that. That interaction did not come up. Remember that. At some point on the 14th, she's petted me again. I don't know why, but I kept mistaking Halos and Monty for each other. I guess when you're both fat and cake yourself with makeup, you look the same. Nah, but I seriously don't know why I was doing that, but she's like, does this make you an idiot? I'm sorry, I had to. And I ignored that and move on, right? Previously, when I was talking about Lachey's story, she also said that I'm not a Shinblade ally and not to share anything with me, which also happened before we actually spoke. So keep that in mind as well. So October 30th, I go, hey, Shinblade, any updates? And he's like, speak to Miss Kitty, but before that, could you apologize to her? So I'm like, did she block you or something? And he's like, well, you may have said something that made her upset. So I'm like, I'm not sure what he's talking about, but it's not that deep. I really don't care. If she feels that way, then she could tell me. Since that didn't work, I guess word went to Zuzu, and Zuzu doesn't know what the fuck is going on. She's like, oh, you should apologize to Miss Kitty. She's mad at you for the D's Nuts comment on YouTube or whatever. She didn't take it as a joke. She's upset at you. She's mad at you. She doesn't like you. Blah, 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 blah. Here's a question. Why is this person who you just said doesn't like me continuously trying to get my attention? Did this bitch even tell you what the fuck was going on? She's in my replies. She's in my comments. She's still trying to be petty to me. And she's going through her fucking friends like it's elementary school to get me to apologize. I'm telling Shinblade and Zuzu at the same time, I don't care if she doesn't like me. If it's that deep, she can message me, right? Eventually, she reaches out, and I will let the rest of the video speak for itself. Was there a reason Shinblade told me to message you about the court case? I don't know why he couldn't tell me. We don't want anyone taking his words and twisting them to fit any narrative they may have. I guess that makes sense if he's talking about the status of his case, but how could anyone really twist it around? Y'all are creative. The fuck is she? Who the fuck is y'all? All of you individuals who are making these opinion-based videos, which is fine, you know, First Amendment rights and all. I am literally the only one who made videos on the Shinblade case. What would I gain from twisting words about his court case? You're not, and you're right. There's nothing to gain, but there's also nothing to stop you from saying anything you want for clicks. We don't trust very many people right now, but I digress. Yeah, because the 5 videos you definitely watched twisted the narrative and made Shinblade look bad. Here's a question. If you're scared of false narratives being spread, why the fuck are you posting anything related to the case? Telling someone not to share information doesn't help you or the person you're currently vying for. You have folders upon folders of everyone involved, and you posted a good majority of what's within those folders on Twitter. I guarantee those outside of this either don't care, still don't know what's going on, or have already made up their minds about Shinblade being a rapist or Angel being a glorified lot lizard. I wanted to look at this case with a more subjective lens rather than do what all of you have done for almost 2 years, petty shit flinging. But hey, that's less work for me. With Kitty's fear of the narrative being twisted, I thought she'd be kind enough to inform the uninformed masses about what's really going on between Angel and Shinblade. Lil Koga was confused about the Shinblade case. You're missing quote a bit. Please catch up. Inform me. Ooh-wee, you're 10, almost 11 months behind. Just go with whatever you were going with. I'm good. How do you hop in someone's mentions telling them you're missing a lot, then when said person says to inform them, you do this? Here's a thread where someone else uninformed asked her what's going on. Her response? Do your research. Fuck am I supposed to research if I don't know the topic, you fuck ass? I guess you'll have to figure it out. If you're smart, you will. If you're not, I guess you'll never know. This interaction annoyed me in particular because, you know, she's annoying, and I had to step in to link my videos because she's too lazy to inform people, even though she's the main one posting receipts. In a different thread, she argued with Jazzified God because he called her out for being childish. As usual, she came with her trademark snarky attitude until Jazz, quote, please go to hell. Smiley face. After some back and forth and finding Jazz attends high school, she said, I don't play with other people's children, so I guess I'll take it easy on you next time you try me. You only get one pass though. Stay safe. Keep in mind Jazz is a minor, and Kitty is a grown adult with 2 kids. We wanted to trust anyone making content was neutral, but your shady comments and insults didn't help. You're constantly more to one side until the opposing side started blocking you. What are you talking about? I didn't lean to one side in either of my videos. It's open to interpretation, is it not? You start your videos off as giving your opinion, right? Holy fucking shit. This light is making me sweaty, and she's a fucking idiot, dude. I'm gonna interject here. Yes, my videos can be opinionated when I speak on whatever I showcase, not for giving accurate recounts of events. For example, about this far in the conversation is where past me failed to quantify the amount of stupidity I was dealing with, especially with this next statement. I tell her what my videos were about and ask how either of my videos swung to either side. I would need to rewatch them to give specifics, and I'm not willing to do that. So you made up your own narrative about me. Something you were scared of me doing for Shinblade, but you aren't willing to do your research. Funny how that works. Since you have the IQ of a toddler, I'm gonna do the easy part for you. Again. The first video was an analysis of everything that took place with my own opinion sprinkled in. I was careful. I chose not to make too many jokes and take the situation as seriously as I could. Probably a bad choice on my end, but I didn't talk to anyone involved because I didn't want to be swayed to either side. But in my defense, Angel and her groupies didn't like me because of the Twitter space, Shinblade had me blocked, and everything was on Twitter. I would have had some extra bits thrown in, but to me, it wasn't really a detriment to my research. The second video was responsible with the Fat Bitch Brigade and her crony said about me, alongside updates on the case. If you couldn't tell by the length, in this video I decided to call out everybody. And if you did your due diligence like you told me to, I wouldn't need the crayons to explain it to you. She then tells me I missed out on a bunch of information if it weren't for my nuts. What did I miss? Everything you would have known from both my videos. One of those things I apparently missed was Shinblade being cleared by the military, which again is something you would know if you watched my videos. What was Miss Kitty's response when I told her this? Oh, as in you made an assumption that blew up in your face? Or oh, as in you realize you're a fucking idiot? You must understand this is a man's life. The tone of your video was playful and comedic, so... No! No! Fuck! What? God damn it! Ah yes, this is a man's life we're talking about after all, yet here you are, dangling information in front of me like a carrot on a stick. If only you didn't insult me unprovoked. You would have had this life-changing, life-saving information for Shinblade. But oops, you said these nuts. If you didn't, you would have had this. I'm under the impression that a lot of people don't enjoy listening to some dude talk behind gameplay about sexual assault for an hour, so I chose to lighten the mood a bit. I got on DJ for smoking cigarettes, looking up the Boogie, and calling Angel his homegirl. He was in my DMs laughing at everything I said about him. Zuzu didn't notice or care I got on her forehead, and she congratulated me for making the second video. Even Shinblade liked the final part of the first video when I made fun of him too. Out of everyone I've said something about, you were the only person who complained, so what's your excuse? By the way, if you thought I was being very edgelord before, you ain't seen nothing yet. Let's take a trip down memory lane and take a look at our very first interaction. When I first encountered Miss Kitty, I saw her tweet about Angel's police report. From my perspective, she was focused on a minute detail that didn't matter to me. Who cares that Angel brought up her OnlyFans instead of her Twitter in the police report? I don't care that in order to have scrolled her OnlyFans, Marcus would need a subscription. For the most part, you can look up anyone's OnlyFans for free, or you can go through Angel's media tab on Twitter because we all know she got bored of sucking dick for fun. Yes, it's a contradiction, but it never blew a massive hole in Angel's story for me. I shouldn't have to explain this, but since Kitty's retarded and wanted to act childish, coupled with my love for over-explaining things, allow me to show you how I perceive this interaction. I come in with an honest take. She continues to be firm with her beliefs, so I respond with, detail these nuts. I say stuff like this all the time, so I see nothing wrong with this, and it would have been a forgettable interaction. Miss Kitty says, fuck you disrespectfully. Your nuts don't interest me, and if you're not intelligent enough to read and comprehend, please don't comment on my shit as I do not have the crayons to explain a fuck thing to you. No, this can't be. Miss Kitty was rude to me first? I'm just as shocked as you are. With that interaction in mind, I assumed she didn't want anything to do with me after that. I didn't even notice her until she was whining in my comments about how I called her an idiot in my second video, something else she took issue with. As a matter of fact, let's nitpick that too. Here's what I said in full. Also, Miss Kitty made a tweet trying to debunk Fury's claims about Shinblade trying to ruin him. And even though she edited the tweet, she didn't change who she tagged because she tagged the wrong account. These people are fucking idiots, man, I swear to God. Hope you caught that because that's what she was mad about. You tried putting Fury on blast but didn't even tag the right account. Your response to that was, he know who he is though. Maybe if you paid attention, you would have realized he blocked you so you could save yourself the embarrassment. If you were so bent on helping me because you had all of this information, then why didn't you lead with that from the beginning? Anything along the lines of, I can help you, would have been 1,000 times better than fuck you disrespectfully. You could have easily ignored my joke. Started with, I can help you, here's some information, and we could have had a conversation from there. Did you honestly think I cared when you were whining in my comment section? I told Shinblade and Zuzu multiple times that if you had an issue with me, you could tell me. But no, they were like, no man, you should totally apologize. She thought D's nuts was disrespectful. She didn't take it as a joke. She doesn't like you. You ignored her, as if I gave a shit in the first place. I already didn't care about your feelings before this, but watching Shinblade and Zuzu plead for me to apologize made me care so much less. You're the one scrambling to Shinblade's side at every waking moment, not me. Zuzu thought it would be the more journalistic and mature way to handle this. Zuzu was trying to tell me about what's more mature. Around November, I asked for any recent developments on the court case from Shinblade. He directed me to Miss Kitty for any questions about the court case. I thought it was odd he couldn't tell me anything, but I had a few theories myself. Legal ramifications? Maybe he signed an NDA? Maybe he was in the same boat as Angel and didn't want to talk about it.
You could have had so much more info had it not been for your nuts. That's why he didn't talk to you. After you insulted me unprovoked, he wanted you to apologize. I don't accept apologies, but I feel people know what they're doing when they do it.
Why are you keeping me from the information?
I probably haven't mentioned this too often on my channel, but if you couldn't tell by my lack of foreskin and Tylenol abuse, I'm autistic. More specifically, I'm on the high functioning spectrum. I was tested at 15, then diagnosed at 18. One of the characteristics I have of being autistic is taking sarcasm literally, so I had to double check to make sure this wasn't some elaborate way of fucking with me. It wasn't. They both DM'd me on November 5th, roughly around the same time when I inquired about this, which I thought was weird enough on its own, with Shinblade saying this, and Miss Kitty saying this.
Please stop messaging Marcus. He's not going to speak with you. You can get your notes from whatever he posts online. Also, there's no legal ramifications for him not wanting to speak directly with you. I have already told you why.
Oh, by the way, did you notice the time difference? When I spoke to Shinblade, Miss Kitty responded as if she was in the same room as Shinblade was and spoke for him exactly 1 minute before Shinblade could respond to me. In case you have the same IQ as Miss Kitty, allow me to make this clear for the audience. Shinblade's #1 defender, who understands these allegations can bury him in the ground with no chance of recovery, along with Shinblade, the main attraction linked to numerous stories featuring threats, harassment, and sexual assault, who wants you to believe he's innocent of every accusation, declined to share information because I said these nuts.
Got him! Got him!
Oh, and I guess I insulted Kitty unprovoked, but, you know, we know that's a fucking lie, so. Around early March of this year, I announced that I heard a rumor about the court case, and you won't believe who came crawling back. Hey, bestie, may I ask where you've heard cases being dismissed from? Oh, so now you want to have a conversation. No, fuck off. Don't bestie me, bitch. Under any circumstance, anyone is welcome to share their knowledge, even if it might be something I already know about. However, if you manage to push through the trials and tribulations of watching my videos, then insist there was something I failed to mention or that I missed information. Don't start crying about how I would have made a better video, especially when you have the resources necessary in order to make your own if it was really that important. Here's the thing. I know that they know I've mostly been keeping the story alive, so I doubt we'll see Miss Kitty or anyone else on Team Shinblade make a completely new video debunking every argument from Angel and Friends while adding anything I missed. Remember, according to her, I'm not the Shinblade ally here, so if there's anything I didn't cover, make sure to watch my videos and feel free to bring your doubts to Miss Kitty. She has everything about this case memorized down to the taste of Shinblade's dick. And since I can get my notes from whenever he posts online, I don't have to waste my time asking any further questions. Missing information be damned. How do you go from, I don't have a vendetta against you, to, you could have had so much more info if it had not been for your nuts? If you ever get in your feelings over something I said, just tell me. I probably won't care, especially if it's as petty as this, but I prefer we nip it in the bud like adults instead of playing telephone with your friends saying I should apologize. I don't have time to worry about a 50-year-old mom with Twitter fingers and a bruised ego riding Shinblade's dick. You being upset over a joke was never my problem. When you're sifting through your Google Drive folders to post your gossip of the week, Make sure you leave room for me and don't forget to spell the name in all caps. Oh, by the way, if you happen to be watching, Beauty, I came across your most recent Twitter account. I honestly wasn't trying to find you, you just sort of popped up when I was doing research. The next time you have some grand story to tell and you want everyone to see it, avoid deleting your account for once. As for Miss Kitty, that's how you put someone on blast. Now, if you don't mind Goblin and keep Myra company for me, I have one last thing to say to you.
And you could put my balls on a pita bread with some hummus and tahini and eat that to the face. You feel me? Mind your fucking business. Nobody asked you anything, my nigga. Shut the fuck up.
Kai's gonna love that, bro. Another person who was picky about sharing information was Fury. As a reminder, Fury was seen in DMs the same day the accusation was made, saying Angel was lying and he was there the whole time. Not surprisingly, he refused to comment when it was brought up. Sometime later, he made several posts telling the public how Shinblade tried to ruin his career. I won't go into detail about the post, but I will highlight something he said. One of those statements being, "My brand will not represent beef, drama, etc. I only want to be positive, meme, debate about Raven, and support those who support me." We know I wouldn't highlight this if it wasn't coming up later, so before that happens, I'm going to paraphrase what Zuzu told me after I made the second video. Fury wasn't lied to as he was there the whole weekend. He was with Shinblade to purchase alcohol they were giving out during the weekend. Fury was present the next day when Shadow and Marcus were talking. This can support Fury's original statement where he said, "I was with Shinblade except after the auction. After we drank in the parking lot, we came back in and linked up with Shin and Zuzu." If you remember, when I asked Angel why Fury went back on his word, it's because he was apparently lied on by Shinblade. In order to show that Marcus lied to him, he would have seen proof. None of them have yet to see any. Remember how Fury said he wanted to stay out of the drama? Sometime after making that statement, to my surprise, he was arguing with Lawrence Gilmer, Shinblade, along with his main defender, Miss Kitty. Why? Miss Kitty and those on Shinblade's side found out about a previous domestic violence case Fury was a part of, so they brought it up as a gotcha. Those who aired out his previous domestic violence case did so because it sent them a message. Angel calls Shinblade an abuser, but she defends Fury, who's also an abuser. Here's what I think about that. 1, that's fucking stupid. And 2, they clearly did that in order to get a reaction on Fury, and it worked. I personally don't care about this since it lacks relevance besides serving as a whataboutism for the opposing side. Fury deleted the tweets pertaining to the various debacles, and I'm sure he doesn't need to explain himself since it's been handled. Hey, just wanted to make a quick interruption here. Fury said he deleted all of the tweets when he really didn't. Some of them are gone, like the one where he said age like a milk kinfolk. I couldn't find that one, but the ones where he's arguing with Lawrence Gilmer, this thread here, where he said that he was drunk off a Henny and some Adderall at Combo Breaker. A lot of this back and forth with Lawrence Gilmer. A lot of this stuff is still here. There's another tweet. This one here is still here. But yeah, the kinfolk tweet I couldn't find. Oh, and this one is still up. So he didn't delete all of them. I just wanted to clear that up. But yeah, let's get back to the video. Although I have another question that'll be a common theme throughout. Why acknowledge these people? Like, at all? I know you told me it was an emotional response, but was it really though? You refused to comment on being the first of many to debunk Angel's story. Yeah, your time was better spent on the back and forth you started with Lawrence Gilmer. I don't blame you for defending yourself. What happened between you and Shinblade is your business. In spite of that, I don't think you can stay silent about either situation. This isn't me calling you out, I'm assuming you'll be forced to do so based on a few important elements. You're a key witness who was present with Marcus like you stated. You were the first to debunk Angel's story. And if Zuzu's story holds true, you were also aware of the interaction at EVO 2023 in some capacity. I asked Angel why you took back your previous statement, and she said he took his statement back because Shinblade lied on him. What was I supposed to get from that? That could mean anything. The reason Shinblade hasn't fully gotten the boot from the community is because of those like Fury, Angel, and the other accusers. All of you swear up and down Shinblade's this evil monster beyond comprehension, yet for reasons unknown, you're reluctant to elaborate further. You siding with Angel was not the glaring issue here. I've seen you niggas call this man every name under the sun, but no one wants to snitch. Suddenly we're taking back what we said because they were lied on. Anyone would assume you'd have some kind of agency, especially when a shin-diddling sex offender is a father. How is anybody supposed to believe anything you say about Shinblade when you don't say anything? Do you have any idea how you sound when you say, show me proof Shinblade isn't a sex offender? Like a fucking idiot. When you're the one telling people to show you proof that proves you wrong. When you yourself are the accuser. Genuinely, I would have preferred you telling me to fuck off like Angel did, rather than keep me under the impression you're staying silent and trying to stay out of drama, than watching you say, yo homie, a predator, a master manipulator. He was off an Adderall and some Henny he's looking at Combo Breaker. Oh, how about when you said, whose court date this is? I gotta register for TWT events. Shin gotta register as a sex offender. We are not the same. I'm just saying. Diddy of the FGC right here, y'all. Would you leave your little sister around someone with multiple allegations? I'd like to see it. If any of y'all defending Shinblade for being a sexual predator, unfollow me. You just as weird as that nasty nigga is. Imagine not liking me because I keep embarrassing a sexual offender. Him and his whole crew make it fun for me. Were any of those the lies Angel spoke about? I'll never know because you walked back your statements to save your own ass. Did the thought of removing yourself come before or after you said, I'm the P. Diddy of this FGC shit, aged like milk kinfolk? Oh, Monty, is that funny? yeah, that's funny. Yeah, you're next too, bitch. yeah, you're next. Your separation came off like you're hiding something. Then again, it wasn't the first time your stances changed. I caught Luigi doing the same shit and he was like, oh dude, I was just trolling. Shinblade's just a third-rate Tekken player with a fourth-rate Steve. Great content, by the way. Oh, so the other times you called him Shin Diddy meant you were trolling too. All of y'all are grown-ass niggas on some pussy shit and it's fucking pathetic. Shinblade and Hey Broken were right about you. You're a Twitter warrior who's 40 years old and trolling. Grow the fuck up. One more thing before we move on. I saw Fury post a tweet I knew was about Shinblade. So I responded with the meme since I did the same thing with one of Shinblade's tweets. Didn't think anything of it until Fury sent me a message. Yo, letting you know I got no issue with you. We may have our own opinion on the Shin Angel situation because I support her in shadow, but no, I got no problem with you. I'm just not associating with it and making statements about it, bro. Out of everyone I know who supports Angel, you are the only person I hold genuine respect for. Because instead of giggling about me like a schoolgirl, you chose to have a conversation with me and I respected that. I knew you didn't have an issue with me, so you didn't have to tell me. But since you did, I got suspicious. I personally think you did this because you thought it would keep a target off your back. Not because you wanted to clear the non-existent hostility between us. I'm not mad at you for anything. I was just confused due to all the time you spent avoiding me in conversation. I wanted to speak to you again and clear my suspicions about your intentions, and I was on the fence about it since you avoided the topic when we first spoke, as you did anything we talked about in DMs. I knew I wouldn't get anywhere, but I still reached out just in case. Glad to know I was right. But it's never that easy. See, I would have ended it there and given you good luck on your future endeavors if it weren't for the half-assed apology you gave to Shinblade on January 17th, the one that you deleted, suddenly feeling remorse after everything's been said and done. Guess it didn't look good for TPC or Monty snatched you by the balls of forcing esports apology out of you. And when this video was out, it definitely won't look good for Odyssey Atlas or Capri FGC. You openly debated against Shinblade and his defenders, made statements you won't confirm, pushed the narrative that Shinblade is a sex offender, but now you felt the need to apologize? You can feel sorry all you want. If you want to hand out sorry-ass apologies, walk back your statements, or delete evidence because you want to act like a bitch rather than talk to me or Shinblade man to man, that's on you. Fury, I would like to apologize for thinking you had a shred of dignity left in you. You're over here gossiping like a schoolgirl and starting fights, but all of a sudden you're like, nah man, I just want to keep it peaceful. I don't want no problems with nobody. By the time your sudden feelings of regret came through, it aged like milk, kinfolk. Jokes aside, you will have to speak about what you said, and an esports apology ain't gonna cut it. I've long since lost any respect I had towards you. I don't care about your family, your mediocre skills as a Tekken player, or your domestic violence case when this speaks volumes about your character more than anything. You really thought blocking me was gonna keep you out of a video? Nice fucking try. It's clear to me you'd rather engage with people who only have bad things to say about you, just like everyone else featured in this video. Don't bother trying to explain yourself because everyone knows you're full of shit. Take your sob stories and two-faced sentimental bullshit and blow it out your ass. Have some goddamn self-respect and grow a backbone. Go fuck yourself. Last time I spoke about Texadecimal, I briefly went over her involvement with the Valkyrie story and she had me blocked, but this section isn't about her. In fact, I think you'll be glad to hear she unblocked me and began speaking with me. Now granted, I don't have a lot of trust in Tex, mostly due to the fact she initially aided to take Shinblade down. My minor suspicions shouldn't cloud your judgment as Tex can speak for herself. Around the second week in October 2024, I caught wind of Tex breaking her silence. She posted screenshots of a group chat she was in with Angel, Max, Monty, and a few others. I said my 2 cents and said I'd be willing to speak with her if she unblocked me. So imagine my shock when she popped up in my DMs. To keep things brief, I'll summarize why she made the sudden turnaround. In her eyes, something felt off after seeing the actions of Angel and her group. Real victims don't act like that. They don't mock the law they sought to get them justice. That's when she realized they never wanted real justice. What they really wanted was justice via public opinion. From there, things began to click. She noticed Angel's story changing multiple times from harassment to assault to even rape. If it was that traumatizing, you'd be able to remember details like the smell of the car, his cologne, or other things associated with trauma. She didn't understand why they never went to the police, and instead chose to be messy and vindictive. Soon enough, she distanced herself as they continued using her name to push their narrative. She did what they told people, do your own research. And by doing so, she found everything to support the basic fact this is a big lie, that they lack actual evidence or witnesses, and this is ultimately a revenge act for rejection. After she began doing her own research by watching my videos and speaking to close friends, eventually she spoke with Shinblade, apologized, and made amends. This leads into what happened shortly after speaking with Tex, that being the group chat. She shared several screenshots from the group chat she was kicked from, and the members of said chat were Angel, Monty, Max Ninja, and Tex before she was removed. I'm gonna assume others like Akatsuki, Shadow, and whoever else supports Angel were also present, but that's just me throwing darts at the wall. What she told me may not have an effect on my minor distrust of her. However, I can at least vouch for her and say she hasn't gone back on her word and started attacking Shinblade. She is definitely one of the few people I respect. What grabbed my attention the most is when she said they tried to cancel me. On top of that, they were just straight up lying about me. Like, what? I'm an abuser supporter? I was defending Shinblade? Where the fuck did they get this from? Of course, I had no idea what she was talking about because, one, unless they're that out of touch with reality, I'm not sure how they would cancel me. The only pull Angel has is when she's dragging Shadow and Max Ninja by a leash. Nobody in that group has the influence to cancel me in the first place. And two, that never happened. When I saw these DMs, I could not believe it. Not only did I have a theory of mine confirmed, but what's in these group chats absolutely destroy their testimonies and the chances of them being believed in the future. I didn't mention this in the previous episode because I wanted to keep any personal theories out of it, but if you remember from the last chapter on June 13th, I contacted Max Ninja about him being followed by Shinblade at Anime BluesCon, which took place earlier that same month around the 8th. I contacted Max Ninja for the following obvious reasons. 1. He insisted he was followed and threatened at Anime Blues by Shinblade. He was the victim, so obviously I wanted to hear from the main source about what happened. On top of that, Monty and Halos voiced their displeasure with ABC for allowing Shinblade to be at the event, so I could only assume something might have happened. 2. There were eyewitnesses at the event, one of which publicly stated saw the whole thing, while the other witness who was present said nothing happened, meaning there's two sides of the story. 3. Shinblade is the main crux connected to all of these stories, so it would be safe to assume this would be another example of his awful behavior, and would be a good thing to use in order to build a case against Shinblade. Additionally, this would be a massive issue with safety at Anime BluesCon, and the event could be held liable for ignoring this when it's brought up. And finally, number 4. There is no way, on God's green earth, you claim to be followed and threatened at an event with this kind of nonchalant reaction. You are the least threatening person in the entire FGC, and a manlet like you isn't the slightest bit concerned you were practically stalked at an event. I have a fifth reason in the script saying I sent another tweet to somebody on November 22nd. At first I wasn't going to bother looking for the tweet since I knew whoever it was for wouldn't respond, until I found the tweet. It was for Anime BluesCon, and past me was right, they never did. Anyway, here's what I thought went down when I reached out to Max. I was about 90% sure he was in the group chat with Angel. At first, I thought it was a crazy coincidence, cause there's no way the moment I reach out to Max, Angel and Shadow blocked me after having me unblocked up until then. So I'm thinking he sent the encounter to the group chat, she tells her lackeys to block me, then I'm sitting there confused as hell. Turns out I was right all along. This was my first time reaching out to Max in DMs. Hey Max, is there a way you can confirm your story about Shinblade following you at the recent event you attended? I'm trying to figure out what's going on. The audacity. I'm so sick of this bitch. What the fuck you mean can you confirm it? Nigga was following me. Block him. Yes, ma'am. Anything for you, Angel. Yes, ma'am. I'm so sick of him. If you remember back in my second video, I contacted Sonata_FG, who now goes under #1 Debusan, the guy Max coined as his witness, who claimed he saw the whole thing go down at Anime BluesCon. I thought they ignored me when I reached out. I let my homie know not to engage with him. I'm sick of PK. He better get the fuck on. If anybody can tell me what I did wrong here, I'd love to hear your input, but I'm guessing it was asking the victim what happened in their traumatic experience they brought to social media. My bad. had won't happen again. He better not look in my direction. I got my people in Vegas. My niggas will pull up so fast. I'm going to a con tomorrow. Shin Diddy may be there. Fine by me. I'ma be petty cause that nigga not gonna do shit, LMAO. If he tries anything, I'm a snitch. First off, you knew he was gonna be there. Out of the multiple options available, you with your divine wisdom decide to be petty cause in your words, he's not gonna do shit. I'm assuming you being petty was doing whatever set Marcus off, leading to him following you like you said, but I think you're full of shit. If it did happen, that is a serious issue which needs to be addressed, leading to Yos to perform an investigation, and if proven true, which it very well could have if you brought it to actual people who could help, Shinblade would have been banned from Anime Blues. Also, the other witness present, Alex Chaos, probably wouldn't have said your side of the story didn't happen. You know, now that I think about it, he kicked you out of your local scene, remember? Both of you reside in Memphis. So you know what could have really helped in case another confrontation happened again? A fucking restraining order. Then legally, Shinblade cannot approach you. But I forgot. You wanted to be petty. Actually, wait. If he kicked you out of the local Memphis scene, how are you able to attend an event in your local scene? I'm sure Max Ninja will be more than happy to answer that.
This next one was revealed to me on the walk, so take it with a grain of salt. Thinking back on Max Ninja's receipts, I remembered him saying Marcus tried to force him out of the local scene. Notably, in one of the tweets he made, Max Ninja said Marcus tried to get him to quit TSE. Call me crazy, but I think the local scene he's talking about is TSE. This is funny to me because you're accusing Shinblade of trying to force you to leave TSE, the now defunct esports org nobody knows about.
Second, how would I know if this took place if I didn't ask you what happened? The fuck am I supposed to do, read your mind? I wasn't there. Did you honestly expect me to run with your story like Monty and Halos did? Zuzu told me you played with Shinblade multiple times with no issue whatsoever. Shinblade ignored me when I asked him about it. Alex said your side of the story didn't happen, and you're the only one claiming to have a witness. Besides Halos and Monty taking your word for it, you were the only one who was adamant Shinblade threatened and followed you at Anime BluesCon, but everyone else says otherwise. I'm not even going to bother asking the other witness you claim to have when you say Shinblade threatened your cats, because you've probably told them to ignore me too. While we're still on the topic of witnesses, are you sure you want Fury as your witness? A bitch-made man once said that stances change. Here's what I think happened. You went to Anime BluesCon with the full intention to egg Shinblade on and play victim. Just like Shadow did when he teabagged Shinblade knowing it would piss him off, but wanted to pull out the shocked Pikachu face when Shinblade told him to jump from a higher floor. Once you set your plan in motion, you quickly realized you were dealing with a heavy dose of Memphis pride. Meaning just like Marquise, you fucked around and found out. You practically admitted to forging a plan to accuse Shinblade by saying he followed and threatened you at Anime Blues. So I ask again, Max Ninja, who is it trying to help? Because I fucking dare you to say some shit about a fake gotcha again. Last time you said that, I caught you making an accusation without evidence until you got pressured into doing it from bystanders. This time I caught you doing the exact same thing, but I didn't have to do anything except watch you shoot yourself in the foot. It's really funny how you said Shinblade wasn't gonna do shit, but when he ends up following you like you said, you turn tail and run to Monty and Halos. With how much of a pussy you are, I can see why Ernesto thought you were a woman. I think Elder Godfish said it best. Go ahead and say something snarky, then claim the position of a victim and say how you're being harassed. But mention how unbothered you are and how beneath you all this is, while you post some anime gif or picture as a reaction. Desperately seeking acceptance through shared trauma and manufactured victimhood is not how you make friends. I'm serious. Try finding Max Ninja's tweet claiming he was followed at Anime Blues through his media tab. Here's a hint. He uses this gif. Happy hunting. I genuinely want you to explain what you have to lose, Max. Worst case scenario, your stories are only seen as allegations and they fade into obscurity. Best case scenario, this would have built a case against Shinblade, proving you and the other accusers right. You can address having to fish out a massive shit log you clogged the toilet with using your bare hands, but not how you schemed ahead of time to entrap Shinblade. You'll ignore me because Angel told you to, and we all know good dogs do what they're told. But the next time you're gooning to your wife of the week, try ignoring the people coming from my video talking about all of this and your shitty situation in droves. Max Ninja? Oh yeah, I heard of that guy. I hope his hands aren't dirty. I'd tell you to eat shit, but you already beat me to the punchline. Oh look, even Luigi chimed in. I'm sure he has something insightful to say. If they're gonna be unemployed, at least be nice at Tekken. Niggas, you got 385th at Frosty's, 33rd at Evo, and managed to cause drama with a Korean Tekken player. Something I cannot fathom doing because that is a feat within itself. The Korean player in question is ParkSiCho, who recounted his experience playing Luigi on stream. Park didn't feel like playing, so he left after a few matches. Luigi Kandu's chat upset that he left, saying stuff like, "The one and done is crazy, I'm coming for you Messi, I am the Messi of Tekken." ParkSiCho ran into him again, he lost, then Parks left because again, he didn't feel like playing anymore. Luigi continued to provoke him until Parks blocked him on YouTube and Tekken. Luigi couldn't stand for this. So instead of moving on like a normal person, he posted clips from Parks' stream continuing the harassment. Now I would like to bring your attention to ParkSiCho's thoughts on the matter.
Now, I'd like to share my thoughts on this matter. Your mother. Your mom is the real and one and done. You keep showing signs of poor upbringing. A funny thing is, he does the exact same thing when he faces a stronger opponent. So when he does it, it's strategy, but when I do it, it's bad manners? They was calling me gay and a loser, but honestly, hey, those words shoot him better. And he said on Twitter, he keeps boasting about wanting to play a first to win 10 in Tekken with me. About a real life Tekken match instead. Oh, don't worry, of course, I'm talking with legal boundaries. I'm a Tekken player, you know. I want to be not a street fighter. For the record, I am a certified first dan black belt in Taekwondo, standing 183 cm tall and weighing 80 kilograms. I may have lost in Tekken, but when it comes to a real life Tekken, I'm quite confident. If you were interested in a legitimate sparring match, feel free to reach out. If you don't prefer Taekwondo, I can go with Mishima's fighting style, karate instead. You can choose the stage arena, Yakushima, or even Peru if you'd like. 그리고 로위지 선수인자인지 모르겠습니다. I also see that you participate in tournaments quite often. I'm actually enjoying watching tournaments too. I'll be keeping close eyes on you from now on. Looking forward to seeing you soon. 빠른 시일 내에 만나길 기대합니다. 당신의 앞날을 응원합니다. Wishing you all the best. Your biggest fan, ParkSiCho, aka Messi of Tekken.
Round of applause for ParkSiCho's amazing English. He really said, "We can run the ones if you want to, fuck nigga," then ended it off like a formal letter. Korean players truly are the salt of the earth. Parks, if you happen to be watching, one and doneing is seen as a bitch move amongst us Americans, but in the future, if this happens again, you shouldn't apologize. If you don't feel like playing, you're free to leave at your leisure. You're not forced to play games if you don't want to. Personally, I would love to see this real-life Tekken match, because Luigi won't be able to plug his way out of it, bitch and moan about a one and done, or twist the narrative to his friends. ParkSiCho, keep doing you, dude. Don't care about what Luigi thinks, mostly because he's a pussy. In general, don't worry about what American players think of you. I promise you we do enough of that on our own. You know, speaking of shitty Tekken players, let's talk about IceJJBreeze. At DreamHack Land in 2024, I heard that niggas was finna fight, but when I saw the clip, I was a little disappointed. Not only was there no fight, it went exactly how I expected it to go.
Not a lot of Tekken. Fast-paced Tekken, but they're pretty much scrapping.
They really are. This is
whip
all
punch.
hands. I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't hug it out at the end of this.
I would hope they would.
I hope they do too, man. This is all love here.
Oh, good. Let's hug it out. Let's hug it out. Let's hug it out. Come on. Let's get some love.
Hug it out, boys.
Let's hug it out. Let's go.
Shinblade, you know what's up.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Come on.
You did a good job.
Let's give a round of applause for them. Let's give a round of applause.
JJ said I'm gone, bro.
JJ gone.
No love. No
okay,
love in these
maybe
streets.
later. Maybe later. I like it. It's spirited.
Look,
no,
I don't
we like
see
it.
y'all outside.
This good viewership. This
don't
good
make
viewership.
come out there.
This good viewership.
This is.
Okay.
Don't make me come on that stage.
Don't make. Listen. Hey. No.
Ooh, they fucking fighting, bro. Thought niggas trying to jump Shinblade in Big 2024? Wait, whoa.
Thank you, Zuzu, for such insightful commentary. Oof. Could have easily been in the finals, huh? Well, at least you can mark this down as another tournament you barely won. For the other times you placed low due to your emotions, too. I let my emotions take over and I apologize for getting out of character.
You did awesome. Proud of you, bro.
We human gang. You straight and keep that, you heard? Rooting for you.
Love you, JJ. And we know we stand beside you here, fam.
We proud of you, bro, for standing up for what is right. Fuck anyone that says otherwise.
Proud of you, dude. You a consistent, incredible player and fun dude to be around. Don't worry about it.
You're the fucking GOAT, JJ.
Love you, JJ. You did well.
Proud all the same of you, man.
Don't even worry about it, man. You do your thing. You still held it down more than you think. Good shit, bro. Until the next tournament, we go.
Oh, wow, JJ.
I can't believe you kept your cool. We're so proud of you.
I'm sorry, what's with this stand proud bullshit? Did we watch the same clip? Y'all are acting like something happened. Shinblade was staring daggers at JJ the moment he stood up while JJ made zero eye contact. It isn't until when he finally faces him he starts talking shit, mere inches away from Shinblade. Julian was then escorted off stage, held back from fighting someone else, then walked away. Marcus stood 10 toes down. Julian, on the other hand, backed out like a bitch.
Little niggas not gonna shoot it. Little niggas not gonna shoot his gun. You got your gun for the fashion, fuck nigga. You ain't gonna blow.
See, if he was really gonna fight, he was gonna fight. I know a nigga ready to run the fade when I see one, and believe me when I say, Shinblade was ready. You can even read his lips when he's telling JJ to go outside. Be honest, Julian. Unless you could have made it seem like Shinblade was the aggressor and make Monty proud, you wouldn't finna do a goddamn thing. If the niggas at 404 or anyone who wasn't patting you on the back haven't clowned you, then allow me to be the first to do so. Imagine losing to someone you and your friends deem a sexual predator. I mean, that's really gotta sting. Now, I'm not saying I wanted them to fight since that would lead to them damaging equipment and others getting hurt. Shinblade already broke a table that same year. But with how much shit Max Ninja and Akatsuki like to talk, I'd assume any of them would at least have the balls to follow through. Ooh, watch out, Akatsuki. I'm coming at all your friends. Before you make a fat joke I definitely haven't heard before, have the balls to say what you were gonna say last time, then take a trip to the dentist and find some new material. Get on! Julian, my man, look at these placements. You really let Shinblade bitch you this bad? Get on! Before I grill the other fat bitches or white knighting for, I want everyone to take a look at this picture taken at max mode. Look at Shinblade cheesing his ass off, then look at IceJJBreeze. He looks so fucking mad, dude. Why you look so mad, bro? Oh, never mind. I see why you're mad. Get on! I'll be mad too. Don't even worry about it. See you at the next tournament. I'll swing first if it'll make you look good. Congrats on your first win within the 5 years you've been competing. Good luck finding a sponsor who wants a slaw law added to the roster.
Face Tekken, but they're pretty much scrapping it.
They really are. This is
whip
all
punish.
hands. I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't hug it out at the end of this.
I would hope they would.
I hope they do too, man. This is all love here.
Oh, good. Let's hug it out. Let's hug it out. Let's hug it out. Come on. Let's get.
Hold on. Hey nigga, why your dreads leave a bald spot at the top of your head? Dirty mop head ass boy. Dread con looking ass boy. Remember in the second video when I said the victims contacted TOs like Rick, Jabali, and Javi? Hi Monty. Apologies that I didn't get back to you yesterday. I didn't get circled in with the team but have a meeting today scheduled to do so. I appreciate the communication. Rick is a bitch and I'm tired of him too. There shouldn't even be a fucking discussion. I'm about to cuss him out again. Texas Showdown is just ignorant. Y'all ain't willing to get proof. Like, not a soul reached out to us. It don't click in their head. If multiple attorneys are banning him, maybe there's substance. Also, no evidence is bullshit because I sent Javi evidence of the nigga threatening me. Cops will be there for safety ass nigga. Don't matter if you say you ain't. The actions they taking screams they on his side. Chew him, cause he's indeed an idiot. I really hate TOs. I just hate stupid ass people. This guy is so stupid because the Bailey told me I had to go to Bandai and report him. Like I did get a reply, you dumb fuck. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the victims of Shinblade. Throwing tantrums because TOs didn't give them the results they were pining for, all while complaining about safety precautions when they're the reason said precautions were applied in the first place. So much for appreciating a thankless job. They're not willing to get proof? Not a soul reached out to you? Javi told all of you to send them any further evidence regarding assault or harassment. Even when Max Ninja said he did, I still call bullshit. Cause the DMs Bonnie had with another TO shut that claim down entirely. Gotta love entitlement. Why bother getting justice for yourself when you and your friend can gaslight yourselves into thinking you ratioed Harada, while girl bossing your way into making a mockery of your character's community by saying stupid shit like this? If you were hosting a tournament and an anti-semi-anti... If you were hosting a tournament and an anti-semi, anti-vax, transphobic, xenophobic crypto dude wanted to participate, would you let them or is it not relevant? Go outside. Oh my God. Oh my God. Do you have any friends? Do you have any friends or family you can actually talk to? Oh my God. You're so fucking embarrassing, dude.
Fucking Lily Mains, my god. Congratulations, Lily Mains. Zumayo has made you the new face of unemployment. Y'all would be in deep shit like I thought you were when I first found out, but as you'll see later, if Angel was right about one thing, is that the TOs didn't care.
You fat bitch!
If you noticed a running theme up until now, then you may have noticed the accusers owning up to their faults was never an option. But let's be fair and answer this next question with a pop quiz. When the group chat was revealed, did Moni A. delete her account, B. address her DMs within the group chat and own up to her mistakes, C. post her DMs with Timmy Scorcher believing she was in the right and change her name to avoid backlash, or D. we know the answer is C. Deny it all you want. Not only do you go under the tag Princess Snuggles, but you're the only one dumb enough to make her name the one thing she advocates for, Chloe in Tekken 8. I also have the screenshot and saw Elder Godfist mention you by name. Get fucked. For some reason, she thought her DMs with the TO Timmy Scorcher made her look like the concerned individual trying to advocate for victims, when in reality, she's an entitled bitch who tried to strong-arm Timmy and other TOs into banning Shinblade without providing evidence. Shinblade banned from events? What did he do? I'm asking because someone made it seem like Texas TOs are taking his side when we're not. We just haven't seen proof. Every time me, Javi, or any Texas TO asks for evidence, we get cussed out or dealt with hostile behavior. Did you look into the stories that Angel, myself, and other victims shared? Angel has been the most vocal about her experience, and she even filed a police report, followed by multiple victims coming out. If that isn't enough evidence, then I'm not sure what you're looking for. We reached out to Angel and she got pissed. I need to know where these comments are so I can show Javi. I don't have beef with everyone, just need something to show the other TOs. I suggest reaching out to Angel, Max, Shadow, and Tex. They are very understanding individuals. She basically did exactly what you just did and told me to go do research. Hard to do research when everyone says go do research. Seen it on my timeline, tried to find out, and she blew me off. Everything is readily available all over Twitter, YouTube, and police statements. One of the supposed victims of Shinblade's behavior is withholding evidence of harassment, threats, and sexual assault. While Timmy, the one working with TOs who's going to be held responsible for community safety, had to essentially beg to see evidence, even though Angel and other victims have been rude and dismissive. The fact you thought these DMs would make you look good shows how delusional you really are. There's a process when it comes to cases like this, and you want TOs to forego said process. Saying go do your own research doesn't help TOs trying to investigate and punish the person you want banned. Mind you, if my videos didn't exist, you'd have trouble piecing the story together or get surprise visits from Grayson, Gumshoe, and Tracy while checking Angel's media tab for receipts. You're welcome. Money and Gang also shared a few DMs relating to a space I believe would have been made around the time she made her story about Shinblade known, or sometime after Angel's story went public. So what would be the goal to achieve during Money's Twitter space? From my understanding, the point of this space would allow Money to control the narrative, similar to how Angel and Shadow did in their space, and catch you in 4K for their own amusement. So in case you wanted evidence to back up Money's claims, or were curious if she wanted to pursue legal activity, they'd pack you up, think they ate, and kick you from the Twitter space. I'm going to briefly mention two additional stories dealing with Money, the first being an anonymous tip. I used to be a part of Sweet events from May 2023 to August 2023. Originally, I signed a 1-year contract with Money. Money and I started off right with her taking me to events and me representing her brand. It started being different when she decided to fly a team out to Puerto Rico for an event. The same weekend there's another tournament in Atlanta that I was asked to go to by the owner and operator of the event. Since I refused to go to Puerto Rico, Money ripped the contract and ended our relationship there and then. Ever since then, she has been targeting me and multiple players from not playing in online as well as offline events. When I asked for evidence, unfortunately they didn't have any to show. There's another story Zuzu told me about, which is the same story Lachey mentions when she returned. But similar to the previous story, it's hearsay at the moment, and she told me the victim isn't ready to speak up yet. As of now when I wrote this, I don't have concrete evidence to dig deeper into either story. So you can take them with a grain of salt, or see these as examples of Money's behavior when she doesn't get what she wants. On January 28th, the org Money owns, known as the Sweet Events, has announced they have concluded their esports team. Any joke I had about TSE crashing and burning trumps this by a landslide. In an earlier draft, I was going to say something about how useless she is to the Pro Casuals esports team, as well as the website not having a domain prior to the shutdown, but there's no point in fixing it now. Hey JJ, hope you enjoyed being sponsored for 5 months. I wanted to mention this last thing to get the word out, but according to Zuzu, apparently half the reason TSC disbanded was, as she put it, Angel and TSC girls ditched Monty, saying she's a flat out liar. And here is my reaction to that information. Get fucked. Oh man, get fucked, Monty. Fuck you. Monty, you're a power tripping bitch and you can go fuck yourself. People shouldn't be scared to speak up because they'll kneecap their careers in the process. People already know about your behavior, so it's only a matter of time before the truth comes to light. And I honestly cannot wait to see you start scrambling when people start asking questions. Lastly, I also have an interview with Timmy Scorcher, the TO Monty tried to strong arm into banning Shinblade. I won't play the whole thing because this video is long enough, but the full interview will be linked in the description. So, first things first, could you introduce yourself?
Yeah. My name is Ricky McNeil. My gamer tag is Timmy Scorcher. People get that confused because people call me Jump, but that's what my friends call me. But my actual gamer name is Timmy Scorcher.
What tournaments have you helped run?
Oh, I've pretty much done all of them. Frosty Faustins, Texas Showdown, Kumite in Texas, D-Town Beatdown, Absolute Battle, Super Bit Wars, King of the Sticks. I've pretty much done all the regionals in the South. I've done other stuff back in the day, like Rent a Brawl, but that was like 15 plus years ago. So I got over close to 3 decades of tournament organization experience. Pretty much been everywhere, man.
All right. I wanted to know your thoughts about the DMs you had with Monty.
I thought that was really unfair. For 2 reasons. The thing I'm starting to not like is people don't know how to be adults. People don't know how to communicate. People think just because something potentially illegal that has happened makes you capable of banning someone and then also judging someone else's character. So I will tell you this, I never had bad experiences with Moni. And so it was alarming when I'm just trying to get to the bottom of something and my character was getting judged. I have no criminal history. I have no crazy stuff in my background. I have a bachelor's degree, a master's degree. I'm a community leader. I have 5 daughters. I mean, and I'm asking questions and I'm getting made fun of. I think one of my relationships was ruined with a gamer in the community. And so that's what makes a lot of TOs like myself scared to talk and have these kind of conversations because people are just judging our character over some bullshit that I'm not even allowed to do research on. Because the one thing I hate is when people say, go look on Twitter. I want to fucking go look on Twitter. I'm sorry if I'm cussing. Am I allowed to cuss?
Yeah, you're fine.
I don't want to fucking go look on Twitter because I'm a busy person. I run 3 companies. I run HXC Gaming, I run a consulting company, and I'm also a high school teacher. I'm in the education field trying to do esports. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I got a lot on my plate, and the last thing I need to do is go dig. And a lot of time people delete stuff and they hide stuff and they screenshot and they Photoshop. And AI is crazy nowadays.
Yeah.
I just want to hear stuff from the horse's mouth. And so when I went to go get that information and made fun of and talked about who's this dude? What the fuck's he talking about? No, I'm trying to find out if I should talk to my friends about banning this guy. And the guy I'm talking about is Shinblade on this conversation, right?
Yeah.
I love Shinblade to death, and I know sometimes he could be an asshole in the past, but being an asshole doesn't deserve to get you banned. And the more fucked up thing about this situation too, with my conversations with her, I told Shinblade myself, I said, bro, I'm gonna let you know right now, if I find out you lied to me about any of this stuff, I'm gonna do everything in my power to get your ass banned from every fucking event I can. I said that to him. I said, because not only did you're starting up a ruckus if you're lying, 2, you're endangering, my character's on the line for you. And then for you to lie about something so simple, you're gone. I'm gonna do everything in my power to get you banned from everything, even locals, right? And he seemed pretty confident. And so when I got that, when I went back and forth with her, I'm like, dude, how do we get here? How do you get to attacking me? I don't got no criminal background. I've never molested no one. I've never, did anything crazy. And I'm trying to find out, and I can't get that conversation started. And that's what made me dead the whole thing. So I know sometimes Shinblade feels like, damn, nobody's got my back. I heard he's even took them to court. I don't know how that's going right now. I don't want to talk about that part. I'm waiting for some kind of result to come out, but it just makes it difficult. You know how people say the women to be like, "Oh, this is why we don't like to come out."
Yeah,
because
I've seen that a lot, especially by Angel, and you know the TOs don't care and all that stuff. I've definitely seen that.
Exactly boom. So now here we are, vice versa. This is why TOs don't want to put. This is why we don't want to be messy. This is why. Me even now, I know a couple TOs is like, I don't want to unban. I don't want to ban him, and they won't even let me talk about that publicly. It's not fair. So this is why TOs don't want to be in. TOs don't want to be in messy stuff. But me, I'm a grown man, bro. I know how to use my words. I know how to communicate. When you don't communicate, one of the 4 agreements, bro, is never assume. When you assume, you make an ass of yourself. And so all the TOs just ban this guy over some stuff that I guess we're not supposed to dig and do research on, man. I wish for victims that have to deal with stuff like this, the best time, even if you're scared, just go say something because there's cameras everywhere. And we could probably go to the hotel staff and be like, yo, can you pull up this camera? We had this situation happen today. We're trying to see if this guy did something or if this was in the car. Or what maybe we can get an angle or we could see somebody storming off. It's just all kind of ways to handle that situation. But when you wait, it just makes it difficult for not just the victim. It makes it difficult for the TOs. It makes it difficult for the person that's getting accused. So I'm sorry I went on a rant there, but you know, it really pisses me off when someone try to judge my character and I'm not that type of person, you know, remotely close to that type of person. So
I understand. I wanted to mention 2 things that unfortunately in this case there isn't any security footage that the hotel could give out because there weren't cameras where they were. And to circle back about going to Twitter, what had me fucked up was how Monty told you to go do your research. And to me, it felt like she was trying to coerce you into banning Shinblade, you know, by her word, even when, you know, you were like, can you tell me what's going on? Everyone is telling me to go here, go there, go here, just jerking me around. Why don't you tell me what happened so I can get a better picture? But she's like, no, just go to Twitter. If you went to Twitter, I promise you wouldn't get a clear story. You would see people arguing, fighting, making assumptions, and God forbid if you went on Angel's account, bro.
Right.
If you went through her her media tab to look for evidence, it's not what you would see.
All right, let's take it a step further. I have 5 daughters and a son. When I pulled up people's Twitter, it's a bunch of inappropriate stuff on there. What if I don't want to? What if I'm so prude and vanilla, I don't want to see that shit?
Or even worse, if you're around your kids and they see that stuff, you know?
Right, and I can handle it. I'm a grown man. I'm a freak. You know what I'm saying? I'll put that online. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, no, I don't feel like seeing that shit from her. I don't want to see that. I just want the story. I'll even take some screenshots. You know, I want to mention this too because I'm sure this is going to be somewhere on the internet. The TOs, to my fellow TOs, and I guess you could call me an up and coming TO because when I was battling depression, I always just go to tournaments and I get out of there. I never really promoted myself. I've been to all these events. I've done a lot of stuff, man. And I hope this doesn't blackball me, right? But I really don't care because I trust in God and everything gonna be all right. But we got to have these tough conversations. When I brought this stuff up, and I'm like, hey, I'm noticing some white knighting, right? And I try to create this. I say, hey, let's all have a meeting because I'm noticing a pattern with a group of people that got my own local scene against me for a good 3 to 6 months. My own local scene. Yeah. My own local scene was mad at me about a particular player that was mad that a pro gamer, she had blocked her. Now, I mean, bro, I'm a G. I know how women are. Women will block your ass for commenting on BBLs. I don't like women with BBLs, so a girl will block you. I don't like this. A woman will block you. So I'm not sensitive to that kind of stuff. So what happened was, and this is, I promise you, I'm not bunny training. This all makes sense. I had a gamer in my community mad at a pro gamer because she blocked him. And I was like, bro, I'll ask her. She's in top 8 right now. I really don't want to bother her. And he's like, man, no, I need to know. Why did she block me? I was like, bro, okay, I'll tell you what. My daughter's running her bracket right now. I'll go over there and ask, right? All right, I didn't go ask her because I was like, man, I'm not going to bother this woman while she's in top 8. Last thing you want to be thinking about some drama, right?
Yeah.
You follow me, bro?
So small. But I'm not done yet. Now it's time to talk about Monty's little power trip. I have to explain for Monty in particular that you should worry less about how I'm even talking about this and more about the massive PR disaster coming your way. The players who were involved in this are not at fault. They just want to play the game and stay drama free. If you don't know, Shinblade runs his own tournament series called the WTI that he does for Tekken 8. 2 players from the team, the Pro Casual Esports, entered the tournament and one of them won. Normal people would be happy for their team members placing so high and even winning. But no. Not Monty. Monty saw this and accused them of supporting Shinblade. Not because they said anything about the allegations, simply because they entered this tournament. That alone is reason enough to think you support Shinblade. The head coach for TPC, Keep It Simple, had the audacity to propose some sort of punishment when this dickhead didn't even know what was going on.
Ruh-roh, Raggy. Rabbit fucking ship. Here comes the bro.
Oh, that was so ass. That was so ass. Lady Legazi talked about her being a survivor and what they do represents a lot. For entering a tournament. You're holding niggas responsible for entering a tournament ran by someone you don't like? Are you fucking serious? If entering Shinblade's tournament means you support sexual assault, then you, along with the thousands of EVO entrants, continue to support Mr. Wizard's core values. I will be sharing this with every single TO I can find in case you're thick-headed enough to consider giving you any sort of power in the future. Fuck you, Monty, you fat fucking bitch.
You fat bitch!
I'm editing if you couldn't tell. Good morning, Halos Nation! Nailed it! This part of the video will be dedicated to Halos and her various meltdowns on Twitter. The first one came when Tex began confronting her about another group chat where she said, Shinblade is my next target. I know it looks really bad out of context, but we'll get to that later. Don't worry. Halos noted people began sending her screenshots of Shinblade's defenders making fun of her, which resulted in them calling her job. Whoever called her job told them she was a threat to herself and others. And you'll never guess what she did next. That's right, blame Shinblade.
Before I delete this stupid fucking account, and before I just remove myself from the scene completely, because clearly nobody really gives a fuck about the safety, like the genuine actual safety of other people that aren't experiencing any of this bullshit. I just need to fucking say straight up that I am sick and tired of the shit that you fucking people have allowed to happen within this fucking community. Like, absolutely sickening the type of behavior that you guys have allowed. Shinblade, the fact that you can't even denounce the behavior from the people who are your supporters, the people who are defending you, the fact that you have not announced any of this behavior just goes to show that you are an actual piece of fucking shit. You're a piece of fucking filth. You're a piece of trash. And even if you were innocent, the fact that you allow for this type of behavior if it were me, I would never want any of the people that would defend me. I would never want for anybody to do what they're doing to the fucking people that they're doing it to right now. The fact that you have your fucking people calling my fucking job, telling them that I'm the one who's doing anything, is fucking crazy. It's actually fucking crazy. The fact that you think that this is okay, that these people in your circle are good people, you are absolutely fucking insane. And yes, I am mad because obviously this is my fucking life. You can't go to tournaments. Boo fucking who? This is my whole fucking life. And luckily for me, my workplace is worried about me. Instead of fucking trying to make me in trouble, what they did instead was have people worry for my safety. If I fucking hear or see anything else from any of you fucking people, you better pray to fucking God. And I am a petty ass bitch. You better pray to fucking God that I don't figure anything out about you. You better pray to fucking God that I don't. That's all I'm gonna fucking say. But since you guys don't want people in this fucking community anymore, I promise you I will have nothing to fucking do with this shit.
I wish I gave a fuck.
What she left out and deleted is that her telling those harassing her to die or kill themselves. I believe this is a very selfish way of thinking. Regardless if he knows who's behind it or not, Shinblade shouldn't have to denounce human beings with their own agency. You shouldn't immediately place the blame entirely on the Shinblade. Then again, why the fuck do you expect him to care? He ain't got time for your oh woe was me act when he's dealing with a life-ruining allegation. The nigga's been taking shots at his name for almost 2 years now, and unfortunately for you, you were caught in the crossfire. But you expected not to have a run-in with those taking his side? I'm not saying it's right, but in their eyes, game is game. You blocked me because you said I was victim blaming, and you haven't said anything about me since 2024, at least to my knowledge. So why then would you mention your harassers behind the block, thus giving them more fuel to use against you, go out of your way to find these comments and address the very same posts making you upset? Clearly you haven't been ignoring it like you said you have. Is that all you fucking people can do? Comfort people's appearance? You are sitting here allowing people to fucking attack people like this because of some bullshit you shared. Sounds like you knew your victim status was on borrowed time after everything got leaked. Where did I talk shit about your age, you stupid bitch? My god, you people are actual fucking morons. I don't care what a bunch of nearly 40-year-old geriatric ass bitches are saying about me. Now go play with your pussy and stop playing with me, hag. In my objective observation, Tex is way more hot than hag, but hey. Just cause the rapper wrinkly don't mean the candy ain't sweet, you know what I'm saying?
What the fuck is that, man? What the fuck is that?
You have no right to complain about Tex attacking your looks or about your haters insulting you when you've boasted about leaving and can private your account. Why are you giving these people attention to begin with? They keep testing you all the time, and you keep indulging them. If insults are bothering you to the point you're breaking down on social media, you probably lack the mental fortitude it takes to be on the internet. Again, I'm not saying it's right, but the most these people have done is call you fat behind the screen, and you're still getting mad over it? If you can't take the heat, then why the fuck are you trying to cook? I would have given Halo's props if she stayed on Blue Sky like she said she would, but she continued to speak about her detractors not only on Blue Sky, but also after reactivating her Twitter account. One of her drones, TK_2dank, said, "It legitimately cannot be overstated how much of a loss the community would take if Halo's left." Halos, this is going to be tough to hear, but you aren't this massive pillar who's contributed to the FGC. You even said it yourself. The FGC didn't make you famous. Going viral on Facebook and Tumblr did. Okay, let's see what made you viral. This thing is pretty fucking loud. I'm going to turn this shit down. Alright, Halos. Let's see what made you, famous.
I got hella hoes.
No, the fuck he don't. Talk about these hoes one more time. I'm about to go back to Boston. Why aren't you going in? What the fuck happened? You want to talk about hoes again? What? Bitch, you think this is a game? Do it all for the fame? This motherfucker always talking about some bitches that he don't have.
That's what made you viral on Tumblr and Facebook. Good fucking god. What a low bar. Holy shit. And you flexed that? God damn. Don't ever say some shit like that again, bitch. I know this is going to come as a shock to you, Halos, but the only ones who actually care if you're around are the people who don't like you. I'd ask if you tried being the bigger person, but not only do you not believe in it, you already tried. You're no better than Angel, who clearly can't get enough of the attention. You look like a used blow-up doll dumped in the back alley. There's only a handful of people who care that you blocked them. You're not important. Get over yourself. During her brief stint on Blue Sky, I initiated contact with Halos to investigate if she knew who called her job. Halos can make up whatever story that helps her sleep better at night. My intent was not to harass Halos. I thought it'd be better to cover all my bases and be fair. I assumed she'd have an idea of who it was, but her job wasn't able to provide that information for some reason. She said the identity doesn't matter since her job is still intact. I mean, that's fair, but like, do you not want to find out who did it so they can take some kind of accountability? What if something happens at the physical location? I'd assume you want your employer to know who's responsible just in case, but what do I know? When I first discovered this, I had some suspects in mind, but I'm not about to start a whodunit and accuse someone of something I think they did. All I'm saying is, with what I know, there's only so many people who could have done it. Although I'm not ruling out the possibility, I doubt she ever has to worry about her physical safety. I know I contradicted myself, but the most they've done is harass her digitally because it's the only way they can find meaning in their lives. We all know gamers have committed acts of violence before, but as far as the FGC goes, come on, do you honestly think any of these people in the FGC are going to assault somebody unless there's a clear way they can get away with it? Most of them look like that and delete what they say because they're too chicken shit to do anything. For example, the same anonymous person who gave lengthy details on Monty wanted me to post an edit he made of Halo saying it felt like it's his best work. This looks like dog shit. If these are the people making you upset, just log off. I'm sure you have more going on in your life than tweeting about people you don't like, but the amount of screenshots I have say otherwise. Also, in order to prevent something like this in the future, don't take pictures at your job while addressing your detractors. You're giving them an open invitation to mess with you. The next thing that must be addressed is the infamous Shinblade is my next target message. Niggas calling you fat should be the least of your concerns when this statement is incredibly damaging to you and Shinblade's accusers. You claimed you weren't targeting people when you were taken out of context. Rather that these messages in the Fumi and Co group chat were related to running back Eddie. Palufu, who didn't respond when I asked about her involvement in the group chat, said, Tex was making something out of nothing. We were helping Fumi get evidence so she wouldn't look so scrambled. So if that was the case, why would you say Shinblade is my next target in the same exact group chat? Doesn't help your case that you alluded to his downfall prior to the story being released. On May 31st, 2023, you said, I need Shinblade's freaky disgusting ass to know his time is gonna come soon too, bitch. Y'all have let these freaks get away with being sex pests for far too fucking long. Again, you said this because you were discussing Angel being upset about Eddie being reprimanded quickly, but Shinblade didn't. The conclusion I came to was that you sent this DM around May 31st. 5 days after May 26th, the night of the auction tournament at Combo Breaker. So to me it looks like you were notified of the events at Combo Breaker, yet prioritized revenge over gathering proper evidence and justice for other victims. This message will kickstart a domino effect none of you are prepared to deal with. Because regardless of context, you still look bad. Saying Shinblade is your next target implies every story was planned ahead of time in order to spark a smear campaign against Shinblade at some point in the future, meaning everyone could rightfully make the assumption all of your stories were fabricated. I'm going to use Max Ninja's first story as an example. Disregard Max Ninja not posting evidence until bystanders goaded him to, and how he told said bystander to essentially fuck off when they told him to handle it legally. I didn't point this out last time because it was a crackpot theory of mine, but certain responses to Max's first story about Shinblade are nearly identical. I'm probably reaching here, but tell me the replies to this story don't look off to you. Similar wording in multiple tweets, roughly posted around the same time Max made his. If you factor in Tex's experience saying she was used to push a narrative, it starts to make sense. The other weird thing is that nobody talked about this. It was posted 1 month and 13 days after Shadow made Angel's story public, but it never went anywhere even when the other supposed victims made their posts about it. I'm the only one who brought this story up multiple times in my videos. But you know what's funny? You accuse me of discrediting Angel's story when a single DM manages to do that for all of your stories in one fell swoop. Round of applause for the accusers, everybody. Bunch of fucking morons. The next time I see anyone talking about me, I can guarantee you that you do not want any smoke with me. The minute you started trying to affect my personal life was the moment all of you fucking people fucked up. You better start locking those accounts up now. That last part is somewhat ironic coming from you because you deactivated your account, Monty changed her name, even someone as irrelevant as Tarzangief, the guy who called Shinblade a rapist, nuked his account and moved to Blue Sky. All of you, in some capacity, have been running. And don't get me started on Femshep. Femshep, I don't know who you are, nor do I care to. I'm not coming at you because you're a woman. I'm bringing you up because you are the same age as me censoring names on Twitter. Nobody needs your consent to talk about something that's public on your social media. If I were Ernesto, I'd make the video just to spite you.
People like you, Halos, Exo Stacy, and whatever planet Xana's came from have to be the most unbearable people to talk to.
Nothing is stopping you from leaving social media. I promise you won't be missed. You can have whatever opinion of Shinblade and support Angel. I really don't care. But since you were brave enough to call Shinblade's post atrocious while telling him to rot, I would think you've been doing your research instead of subtweeting. Have you heard of Brian Banks, Emmett Till,
the women who lied on Sam Halen,
Pro Jared, Inquisitor Ghost, Quite, Alex Kerster, that bitch Katherine Jensen who said a man in a wheelchair kicked down her door, assaulted her, then took off on foot?
The Brick Lady was sentenced and got 10 years of probation being found guilty of theft via her GoFundMe, while the DoorDash girl got arrested and charged not that long ago.
I don't care how low the percentage is, women have lied about being assaulted before, so it shouldn't be atrocious for the accused to defend himself unless the evidence clearly shows he did something, which in this case, it doesn't. I'm not sorry for my next statement shattering your worldview, but a 10-minute TikTok and a 5-minute phone call isn't enough evidence to determine a crime taking place in a parking lot at an FGC event. I've deduced you know fuck all aside from what you've been spoon-fed, meaning I can tell you to shut your fucking mouth and do your research instead of believing what you see on the internet. Unless you want Shinblade to round you up in an ongoing legal battle you can't afford. Not giving these people the satisfaction of deleting my Twitter account. I want them to feel so annoyed by me every day. I want their minds to be consumed by their hate for me. I want them to waste their precious time. I'll never go private. I'll never delete. I have nothing to hide. You want to make multiple accounts and be a loser? Go right ahead. Just know only the worst people fuck with y'all, and that says more about them than it ever will about me. As a reminder, this is a 30-year-old woman speaking like this. Get over yourself, holy shit. Hopefully by the time this video is out, you've honored deleting your account. For the betterment of your mental health, not because I care. You're in your 30s worrying about people who don't like you on the internet. From where I'm standing, you have a few options. Work your day job, get a therapist, private your accounts, or get off social media. Before I move on, I might as well give you a little parting gift. I debated telling you Jason Elbow found your Instagram and posted pictures from it comparing you to the penguin and a hippo. Spot on wouldn't be doing it justice. I actually had an entire escape plan around it, but I decided not to. Again, not because I care. But don't get it twisted. I still have what I need to make this skit just in case you're feeling froggy enough to say anything about me. So it'd be best for you to take your own advice. I really don't owe you shit, so do with that information what you will. Try not to thank me.
I actually completely forgot about this tweet, but to answer your question, yes, you are ugly. As shit. Also, by the way, you don't do subtweets? That's a fucking lie. What the fuck are these then? So I was trying to find a tweet that Halos made, and she doxed herself.
After bitching and moaning that you're getting harassed, having a full-on Twitter crash out, arguing with people, telling these people harassing you to kill themselves. I watched you have a full-on crash out because you were like, these people are harassing me. It's so Shinblade's fault. Where? And you fucking dox yourself? You can't be that stupid, bro. Never mind. They all are.
People felt you changed. Became a little trigger happy, maybe? A hothead?
God forbid any of them would find themselves in that position. It's a thankless job.
Another reason the situation will always be a dumpster fire is the lack of communication from TOs, namely Tong, the founder of TNS and head of multiple tournament operations, JJBreeze, founder and CEO of CEO Gaming and head TO and event planner for DreamHack, and Rick, the general manager of EVO and the event director for Combo Breaker. Speaking with Timmy gave me a little insight on how things operate, but just because I kind of understand doesn't mean I won't give you shit. On November 14th, 2024, Shinblade made a lengthy post about his interactions with the TOs I mentioned earlier, saying they were unprofessional and having knee-jerk reactions to his case. In a now deleted tweet, JJBreeze placed Shinblade on an auto ban list until he was able to compile enough reports for something more formal. So for the time being, he was able to register for CEO. Since he signed up for DreamHack Dallas, he let Shinblade know he wouldn't be banned and to prepare for the backlash when the player list goes public. But Shinblade didn't care about backlash. In fact, he was more disappointed in JJBreeze and Co. for banning him. Shinblade said the following: "We spoke in person at DreamHack. He told me at DreamHack Atlanta, you know how it is, it's for pussy. I was also told at DreamHack Atlanta they were trying to find out if I had started that JJBreeze situation, so I could be removed and banned. Yet after they found out I was not the one who instigated that incident, and JJBreeze in fact was confrontational on and off stage, nothing.
No consequences, but they were prepared to remove and ban me. Marcus said he spoke with Tong on 2 separate occasions. The first being at the start of all this when he wasn't allowed to enter TNS Weekly 2. Notably, he said Tong dealt with his own accusations before social media was popular. However, because Rick is his boss, Tong told Shinblade he would follow whatever choices Rick was making. The second was when he got removed from F2 Con and Rewind days prior to both events. During the phone call, Marcus reiterated the steps he'd taken to clear his name, as well as making him aware he hasn't incited or condoned any online harassment, bullying, etc. And he emphasized how he stayed quiet through all of it. Compared to everyone else, this is the one thing I will vouch for Shinblade on until proven otherwise. After Tong snickered and laughed, he told Shinblade he didn't have an issue with him attending until he received an email from Monty. He also said he will continue following Rick's lead and that he doesn't want to risk his events or his brand. Shinblade also claimed Tong admitted he didn't know anything or anyone involved. Raise your hand if you're surprised. As you can see, Shinblade was trying to prove he hasn't done anything wrong on his end. And again, I can vouch for Shinblade about the opposing side implicating violence. Akatsuki, Max Ninja if you want to go there, JJBreeze tried to fight Shinblade, emphasis on tried. When speaking with Rick, he had 2 meetings over Google in addition to several back and forth emails. He told me he's not the police or law enforcement, and he didn't have an answer as to what he was going to do at that time. In situations like these, there's usually a formal investigation and a committee meeting is held. Although he is usually going to deliver the decision, it's not always necessarily his decision. And if it were up to him, he would ban all parties involved until an investigation is complete. And that is the only time any of these guys would have made a decent choice, but we wouldn't be here if they did, so. Strangely, Marcus was told not to share any screenshots of conversations. However, he repeatedly had to reach out for updates. Oftentimes there was no response, or he was offered a callback without a follow-up. At the time of making the post, he was waiting for Rick to return from his daughter's soccer practice to call him back. He found out he was banned from Combo Breaker from a screenshot of a conversation via Twitter. He found out he was banned from Evo from a button check video and another screenshot from Twitter. Which, if you didn't know or don't remember, was the video Ernesto deleted where he spoke about the situation and used my video as reference. I remember seeing some screenshots floating around about it, so feel free to ask Miss Kitty. I'm sure she has them. Anyway, Marcus checked his email on a regular basis. However, the emails notifying him of a ban came after with no explanation for any of the bans. When he tried to dispute, he was basically told to go fuck himself while Monty was able to freely share anything on her end. Marcus also pointed out Monty ran brackets for Combo Breaker and Evo, alluding to special treatment going on behind the scenes. Even when Marcus attempted to insist he wasn't inciting anything, his pleas fell on deaf ears. Rick basically told Shinblade to go fuck himself. JBailey was itching to ban Shinblade from the jump even after JJBreeze almost started a fight both on and off stage, allowing him to walk away without consequences. Then there's Tong. I would think with you being in the same position as Shinblade in the past, the least you would do is inform yourself on the matter. Especially when 2 of the people involved enter your tournaments. My videos have been out for almost 2 years. Just because Ernesto didn't cover it that week doesn't mean it didn't happen. Aside from Mike Hollow, I've been the main one covering this entire case. Go do what Monty told Timmy and do your fucking research. Why does Shinblade have to grovel just for you to see his side of the story? Did Umisho have to beg so she could win Combo Breaker for Strive? The same year she lied about being sexually assaulted? Which was also the same exact year Technicals exposed the corruption within the Strive community. I'm actually losing my mind, bro. Oh my god. Your best option was to keep Shinblade in the dark about his ban status. Refuse to let the man vouch for himself, but allow his accusers to present their case and not say anything regarding his ban. I highly doubt you had zero reason to publicly announce anything regarding Shinblade's ban. Unless you didn't want the people who trust you with their safety see you push to ban Shinblade over a fight he never started, allowing the aggressor to walk off scot-free, laugh in his face as you pull Shinblade from your events without warning because you know jack shit about the case in hand. The thing that really grinds my gears is when the DMs were released, the TOs didn't say anything. These people badmouthed you in private, said you didn't care, said they hated you, complained about your safety measures, attempted to coerce other TOs into removing Shinblade from their events by telling them to do their own research, and none of you were the least bit upset. There is no way you didn't see any of these DMs, but you're just like, nah man, our community is gonna cancel us if we don't ban Shinblade, we gotta do it right now. What if Shinblade and JJ fought at DreamHack? What if someone got hurt or equipment was damaged? My guess is that you would have banned Shinblade, shook JJ's hand, then pat yourselves on the back for a job well done. They had no problem slandering you and your events, yet you don't say anything about it. Gotta love the modern FGC. Accusations and haphazard bans first, evidence later. Why punish anybody when you eat up the classic "I'm leaving the community to be a better person" bullshit Umisho gave when she got caught lying? I understand it's hard to run tournaments. I understand running these events can bleed you dry. But after seeing how you treated Shinblade, I have a lack of faith in your judgment for cases like this moving forward. Rick, I understand you don't always have the option to choose who gets banned from your tournaments, but you're telling me and attendees that as the general manager of EVO and event director of Combo Breaker didn't get to have a say in allowing Umisho and Leffen to attend your events? By the way, Tong, what the fuck is this? You permaban Sophie? TNS is your event and you can run it how you see fit. We can both agree on that, right? But you are not about to tell me that saying slurs is worse than spreading someone's docs. Not only am I mad, but I'm confused because of your silence. So unless you have something to say about the ones you tried to help crucify for implementing safety precautions, avoiding contact from the accused trying to clear their name, or seemingly colluding in a conspiracy to ban Shinblade, I guess everybody has to take this information at face value while you do your thankless jobs. I tried reaching out. Rick on May 30th, 2024. JJBreeze on June 21st. Tong on November 22nd. December 9th, and February 16th, 2025. If Shinblade's words hold any weight, and this was how you chose to handle the situation, I can only imagine how you went about them in the past and how you'll go about them in the future. Your actions, or rather lack thereof, is basically telling anybody who will be accused in the future not to bother telling you their side of the story, because no matter what, you'll wash your hands of it because you don't want to deal with it to avoid controversy, which is what Timmy told me about JJBreeze.
Because Rick and JJBreeze, I like when JJBreeze banned him, JJBreeze didn't even do research. He just banned his ass.
Yeah, he put him on an auto ban list, and it's like, come on, nigga. And he deleted that tweet too, which pisses me off. Oh.
Yeah, he deleted that shit and everything. I'm like, damn, JJBreeze. He didn't give a fuck. And again, JJBreeze is a good guy, but he probably is like, man, I'm sick of hearing about this kind of shit. I'm not putting up with it. I'm only playing devil's advocate here because I know I'm pro help the guy that said he didn't do nothing. But JJBreeze don't like to even deal with it. He don't want, if some woman says I got touched, he permabans quick.
JJBreeze, I know you remember that one player who made a joke about going to CEO and shooting nest mains. Obviously he was in the wrong, but you banned that nigga in record time. But you fuck around and dilly-dally when it came to Shinblade? God, you're just an amazing TO, man. You're doing such a great job. If you run events where thousands of people attend but don't want to deal with allegations of any kind, why the fuck are you hosting these events in the first place? Burying your head in the sand doesn't make the issue go away. No matter the size of your event and with the current climate of the FGC, you know damn well alleged cases of assault, harassment, and fights can occur. So you need to be prepared to handle stuff like this when it happens. Sit down with Javi, Timmy, and other TOs you trust to forge a plan on what you and the parties involved have to do when this happens in the future. You bring it upon yourself to run these massive tournaments every single year. But you're telling me you don't have the common decency to sit down with a nigga and have a conversation? The fuck are you scared of? Public perception? The same people who attacked you for trying to keep these events afloat? They don't care about you or how these events are expensive to run. They care that you have the same opinions as they do and that you allow them to indulge in a niche hobby. This hand-waving, neglectful bullshit really pisses the shit out of me, but at the end of the day, we know how it is. It's for pussy.
Woo!
Couldn't have said it better myself, Bailey.
Esports.
Well, she sneaks around the world from Vegas to Carolina. She's everything you think her future from Berlin down to Berlin. She'll take you for a ride from the most of China. Tell me where in the world is
Angel 20Z.
Who's that Pokemon? It's Munch.
Does anyone else find it odd that the victims have solely put an emphasis on getting Shinblade removed from tournaments, but refuse following up with legal action or involve police unless Marcus initiates it or something happens to them? Max accused Marcus of intimidation, threats, forcing him out of his local scene, and practically stalking. All Monty and Halos did was complain about it. Despite claiming to have receipts and a witness to the events at Anime Blues, no legal action or police intervention. Halos and Monty have a similar issue where they claim something happened to them, yet there's barely any proof aside from vague screenshots and them saying what happened. Nicole's been fairly elusive herself, even though on December 31st, 2023 at 5:13 a.m. she said, quote, "Oh, and I just seen Shinblade's response. Y'all can tell him I'll meet him in any court any day. I'll request a days off if need be." End quote. She was happy to inform people on what an injunction was and called out Shinblade for having a fake lawyer, when in truth, it was the wrong kind of lawyer for the case. She was more excited to say that what Shinblade was doing isn't how an innocent man defends himself. All that big talk about meeting him in court, yet here she was laughing when Marcus said Angel and Shadow were dodging court proceedings. A year ago, I would have gave her the benefit of the doubt. However, with how avoidant she's been, I believe this is the outcome she wanted all along. When the story breaks, she gets what she wants. Outrage. A call to action to remove Shinblade from FGC events. Some bend the knee, others choose common sense, but for the most part, her plan was successful. That is until Shinblade began taking this to court like she wanted to, but suddenly she wants nothing to do with the situation. May 22nd, 2024. I inquired about the missing information that magically appeared in her police report, and she said, "I would greatly appreciate it if you leave me alone. I'm done with this situation. Thank you." October 9th, 2024. Shinblade announced an update relating to the serving process against Angel and Shadow. They have 60 days to try and service again, but at this point I'm over it. Please let this man compete. He want this shit for eternity. Let me just try to understand this. You allege Shinblade groped you, jacked off in front of you, and dry humped you at Combo Breaker. Pushed to exile him from the FGC. Complained when Texas Showdown didn't ban him even when they offered you and the other victims an easy solution on a silver platter while slandering Setios in private. But the loudest voice, shouting from the rooftops that she's a victim, would greatly appreciate it if I left her alone because she's over it and done with the situation. Usually I'm all for yucking it up and making jokes, but doxing the people calling you names doesn't look good for you. And because Shadow's part of Team Liquid, one of the top esports orgs, I don't think it'd be wise for your boy toy to retweet someone's dox either. Hashtag let's go Liquid. Actually, it turns out Shadow wasn't the only one who reposted the docs either, so let's go down the list. Member of Team Liquid and top Tekken player Marquise, Shadow20Z, JK_Dwayne, member of KDQ, Altair973, Chief Cozy, Almighty Nega, Glaze20Z, hashtag 20Z, streamer and Anistan Millie, Lady Gravano, a tier 2 sex offender, ex-social media manager for defunct esports org The Sweet Events, Chrome Dome Cyberarena, where he encouraged Angel to find Shadowlaw's church because church people love gossip. You won't tolerate slander towards Shadowlaw's wife? Then why, Angel, are you doxing a wife and her kids? You blocked me because I wanted to hear your story. But Shadowlaw and many others get your full, undivided attention because they said one of the many things everybody already knows about you. Also, why the fuck did you get on him for being, and I quote, a big bitch lover? You do know people can be into fat bitches but find you repulsive, right? I'm sorry that you, as an adult, can't handle rejection. Deal with it. You can subtweet, talk about me in the group chat, or make your rounds. We both know I'll be laughing when you're playing hard defense on the timeline. I at least got the important ones out of the way, but several other women either supported this or made comments as well, such as member of Red Bull Gaming and top Elisa player herself, Cuddlecore, who also reposted the docs. Hashtag gives you wings. I have to clarify that the court case is ongoing in case there's any confusion as to why I'm talking about it. Before I go into what I found about the case myself, I'd like to recount Shinblade's own post related to it. Every so often, Shinblade would post updates like on October 9th, 2024. The accusers, although showed up for their hearing via Zoom without counsel, have not been officially served, and so my attorney was not allowed to present my case. I was prepared for this to be a long process. What I wasn't prepared for was Shadow20Z and Angel20Z to play cat and mouse games with court officials, especially when Shadow stated it wasn't going to happen and Angel said that she couldn't wait for it to happen. The judge asked two questions to the defendants. Why are you here? Shadow: he sexually assaulted my friend at a gaming tournament. Angel: I haven't spoke about him in weeks. I just want him out my life. Have you been served with a lawsuit? Both Angel and Shadow said no. October 26, 2024. In this post, he expresses that all he's done is drop facts on the victims and various antagonizers. As a result, he's been hit with mass reporting and attempts to compromise his Twitter account. Looking up the case myself, I noticed this. On December 13th, 2024, there's a motion filed to dismiss the case via the Illinois anti-slap statute. To keep it extremely simple, anti-slap laws are intended to prevent people from using courts and potential threats of a lawsuit to intimidate people who are exercising their First Amendment rights. Now, I'm no lawyer and, call me crazy, but when your goal is to prove you've been sexually assaulted, I don't think getting your case dismissed through a law that's used to financially gut your opposition into silence is the route you want to take when you're saying you've been sexually assaulted. I would assume they would either bring forth evidence to prove Shinblade assaulted Angel at Combo Breaker, or bring in those they coin as witnesses to testify against Shinblade, but what do I know? There have been some numbers floating around relating to the amount of money Marcus will be suing for. Regardless of the amount, either way we're getting a Marcus money spread sometime in the future. Below the video would be Shinblade's own post where he provides the link to the website along with the case number. As much as I would like to continue research on this, I stopped caring about this a long time ago.
Release me! Release me!
Ever since Shadow posted Angel's story, I knew the general public would dump this case in the trash. I didn't want that to happen. I wanted to keep people informed and stop both sides from being judged unfairly, but the latter never happened. I hate that people are comfortable calling Shinblade a sex offender or a rapist because people said he did something when the accusers themselves were arguing with a sex offender. I never thought it was fair to shame Angel or trash her story because she makes sexual content. If you are going to impede my research, talk shit in a group chat, whine about harassment because you can't take what you dish out, attempt to strong-arm TOs into banning someone without providing evidence, or be a fucking pussy, I'm not going to care. Collectively, the main players involved have shut me out and willingly chose to give their attention to people who clearly dislike them. It's hard for me to care when there's a lack of cooperation, so there's no point in continuing my research. I'm going to leave you with some unfiltered leftover thoughts I'd like to share. On one hand, I can't help but think, aside from competing in tournaments, Shinblade likes being cool in the summer and warm in the winter. More cushions for the pushing if you catch my drift.
Is your screen name Tortas for Life?
Jokes aside, there seems to be a pattern where he puts himself in situations that get him accused of sexual assault. Lachey's eyewitness account coupled with Monty and Angel's stories support my reasoning, but there's still a lot we don't know. On the other hand, Shadow and Angel aren't making a lot of sense. To me, it looks like they're trying to dismiss the case so the allegations can stick, but that doesn't mean Shinblade did anything he was accused of. Additionally, looking back at my talks with Timmy, I can't stop myself from thinking the 20Z clan is a drama factory. So it's hard for me to believe anyone rocking the 20Z tag or those like Cuddlecore mindlessly supporting Angel regardless of her actions had good intentions from the start. The glaring issue everyone seems to gloss over is the lack of evidence. Halos, Femship, and Cuddlecore believe Shinblade was guilty from the jump without any hard evidence supporting Angel. In fact, a lot of the evidence against Shinblade is circumstantial at best. Even if you side with Angel and the accusers, after everything I've shown you, do you really want to support these people? Hell, do you even care? The TOs were not only dismissive, but have buried their heads in the sand and chose the mob when enough pressure was applied rather than conduct a proper investigation. So if you get accused of anything at their events, good fucking luck. The so-called victims are entitled crybabies who attempted to strong-arm TOs into banning Shinblade without providing evidence, will go out of their way to make sure you can't speak to them or anyone associated with their stories, start shit they can't finish, secretly plot to antagonize the accused, are spineless cowards who like to talk shit and backpedal to save face, and Shinblade, the supposed man behind the slaughter, refused to feed me information because his #1 defender got offended by these nuts. You see why I stopped caring about this? Angel and Co will be more than happy to waive off concerns for myself, in addition to the many uninformed out of the loop. But because they're the victims, we're supposed to listen to whatever they say without question. I don't agree with that. The believe all women/victims mentality has evolved into a toxic mindset. Take my story at face value, or prepare for social suicide. They'll probably never address anything I stated in this video. Then again, they won't have the answer to me. They can forget about answering to Rick, Tong, and especially JJBreeze, since they've done their fair share of sweeping this under the rug. They'll have to explain their actions not only to the Tekken community, but the entire FGC, alongside the many women who supported them. I'm also positive Javi, Timmy, and other TOs would appreciate an explanation, as well as an apology for defaming them, their events, and receiving their nasty behavior. But I know that won't happen either. Now I'm going to address the main players involved. To Nicole's lapdog Marquise, never have I ever seen an adult male allow himself to be cucked this bad. With what I heard about your relationship with Angel, it's no shock you're attached to the hip. I don't know if you're staying in line because Angel's blowing bubbles on it, but you are the most emasculated man I know. I know trans men with more balls than you. Imagine saying your mom taught you to respect and protect women, but your way of doing it was teabagging the guy you believe who sexually assaulted your best friend. But in that same breath, said he won't bat an eye if Shinblade assaults other people because people keep defending him. You look like a dweeb and your Angel's bitch. I'm not wasting time on Max Ninja since he's just as pitiful as you. Since Nicole has a tight leash on you as well, you can treat Shadow's message as your own. Let me know when Angel gives you your balls back. Shinblade, I mean this when I say I don't have anything against you as a person. Being accused of sexual assault is every man's worst nightmare, and unfortunately, you lived it. I can understand it could be challenging when you're put under a microscope like that. You've lost relationships, career opportunities, sponsors, and this fiasco even affected your own health.
I had a light stroke on stream, and I rushed to the hospital, and people didn't know why I was so stressed out. Like, yeah, it was real stressful.
The community treated you like Voldemort, and those against you have done everything in their power to silence you. Kasuma was preying on your downfall. Tarzangief calls you a rapist. God, don't get me started on Flesh. He got his 5 minutes of fame calling you everyone's favorite sex offender despite knowing nothing about the case, then deleting the tweet because he's a pussy. I'm not saying you should sue some random nobody for calling you a sex offender. I'm just saying it would be funny. Nice. I beaten and blocked him, that piece of shit too. Welcome to the club, bro. This is how you plan on standing up against alleged abusers in the community? Beating them in a fighting game? Wow, Junior. Seems like you got a few proteges. All we need is a teabag to sweeten the deal. I'm sure future victims will thank Caleb_TK and Fleshhead Hates for their efforts in taking a stand against Shinblade by beating him in Tekken. Let's not forget courageous gestures from Luigi, Fury, and Tommy Kyra, all who called Marcus Shin Diddy and did nothing to help the victims in question. How brave. By the way, Shinblade, I noticed how much Miss Kitty wanted to play hard defense for you, and that's perfectly fine. I understand you've been put under an unbelievable amount of stress, so here's what I'm gonna do. November 5th was the day I chose I won't bother you with any more questions, since it was clear to me you and Miss Kitty didn't want me snooping around. Both of you told me I can get updates from your social media posts, so I'm sticking to that. If and when this case reaches its natural conclusion, I'll consider making a video with what I have, and that's if I feel like it. This isn't a sudden switch up and I'm not hating on you, but I have to get this one thing off my chest. The next time you happen to find yourself alone in a parking lot with a random fat bitch then get accused of sexual assault, and you or your dick-riding cheerleader are itching for someone with a platform to stick by you, get the one who's been grafted to your nutsack the entire time to make a video for you instead. I've been neutral this entire time, yet because I knocked her down a peg and bruised her ego, Ms. Kitty declared I'm not the Shinblade ally, something I never claimed in the first place. She can hold a grudge against me for 5.5 months, spin her own narrative about me and my videos, botch my investigation with the only person I believe has the power to turn this case in your favor, but I'm supposed to apologize because she took these nuts seriously? Not only is she a genuine hindrance to you because of how petty she is, but she will also hinder anyone else who wants to tell your story just as she did for me. Just because she has receipts doesn't mean she can act how she wants to who she wants without any sort of pushback. This isn't Facebook or the Nextdoor app. This is the internet. People don't have to respect her, acknowledge her existence, or care about her fucking feelings. If she's so scared about people twisting the narrative, she should have kept her fucking mouth shut. She's been posting everything related to this case since day one, thus giving people the info they need to make up whatever they want about your case. My advice, keep that bitch on the leash before she fucks it up for you, those in your circle, and those investigating future stories related to you. Worst case scenario, someone misses a detail or two and spreads minor misinformation by no fault of their own. Best case scenario, you can provide vital information to clear your name. All I wanted was communication. If you told me to leave you alone or made a post saying you aren't taking questions, I would have respected that. I sincerely meant it when I said I don't have a problem with you. I hope this gets resolved so your life can go back to some form of normalcy, because you always hear about the allegation and never the outcome. Despite what I said, I'm not these other lame ass niggas. If we happen to meet at a tournament, I'll dap you up. I'll even take a picture with you. I respect you for handling this how you did. You haven't done anything that will make me cut ties with you. What you and mostly Miss Kitty have done is annoy the shit out of me. I don't want to repeat myself again, but I need you to understand I don't hate you, man. I just hope you see how the primary suspect refusing to give information because your #1 meat writer has an ego that will put Sosaga Vegeta to shame isn't exactly in your favor. You can't expect people to tell your story if you aren't talking, and someone on your side is being rude to people for no reason. Then there's the ringleader herself, Nicole. What can I say that already hasn't been said?
Did you have fun? Did you get everything out of your system?
Because it must suck sitting online lying all day trying to control the narrative because this is all you have. Who do I need to beat up? Elijah, sit your little ass down, nigga. You not doing shit. Tommy not doing shit either. Oh my god. Look at the top of his head. Ain't no way this is about who I think it is. This man is still lying and making shit up. It's scary at this point. Didn't this happen 2 years ago? What is there to talk about? Did y'all ever go back to court? The case is still going on. That's what makes it worse. Oh yeah, that couldn't be me. I just wiped my shitty hands all over my face. The reason the case is ongoing is because, to simply put it, you're fucked. And you know that. I mean, think about it. You didn't expect anyone to question you in any capacity. The comments towards bystanders when they asked you what happened. The Twitter space is a perfect example.
If the idea is you don't want it to happen to nobody else, at least take a legal precaution to
Let me tell you something. Rewatch this. Like I've been trying to be very respectful, sir. But rewatch this 7-hour broadcast, and what you're saying will be answered. I don't know how much more clear I got to get on that. And if I have to repeat myself again, sir, I'm going to get disrespectful.
I
So
mean,
if you
what is
don't
the
have
point in being
anything, if
disrespectful?
you ain't got nothing useful,
I'm just
that's what we're
asking a
talking about.
question.
If
I
you
don't.
have nothing useful,
Did I not just answer it?
No, you didn't answer the question. You told me to go
Look,
look
I'll,
at.
look, I'm gonna answer the. Hold on.
Just answer the.
Let me answer.
I'm
Let me answer
asking
the
the
question.
people who are.
I'll tell you.
Cut his mic. Now.
Oh, this
The
person.
fuck? Am I talking Spanish?
I mean, I don't understand what you're getting disrespectful about. I'm
Cut
asking
his
a
mic. Why do I still hear this man?
I asked you about your police report, you blew me off. I asked about the DMs Theo sent you, blew me off. I even asked your fake victim friend Max for her side of the story, but I had the audacity to want to talk to a victim, so you and your lipping lackey blocked me. Which is odd since anyone else calling you a walking cum-dump got your attention front and center and continued to do so. How I see it, here's what I think you really did. But just so we're clear for those like Miss Kitty, this is my opinion, so I can't quite prove it. It all starts at KIT21 where no way Koda wanted Lachey to tell everybody Shinblade raped her, got her pregnant, then made her have an abortion. But that wasn't true. She was pregnant by someone else around that time and lost a baby at a later date due to a miscarriage. Since Lachey refused to lie about her traumatic loss, you, Halos, Tommy Kyra, Akatsuki, and many others dragged her for not wanting to be a part of this plan. But things don't always go as planned. You probably caught wind of this plan going under, so you had to try again. And it works. You meet up with Shinblade at Combo Breaker and decide to drink with him because you're bored. Regardless of what happened in the car, the end result is rejection. You use Marquise as a shield to boost your story because let's be honest, nobody knew who you were before this. And if it turned out to be false on day one, no skin off your bones. Your little follower Marquise could take most, if not all, the backlash. It'd blow over in a few months' time and none would be the wiser. I mean, it worked to some degree, but here's the problem with that. I recall a certain Munchlax saying they would meet Shinblade in court any day. You wouldn't be trying to dismiss the case because your master plan would be revealed, would you? Won't be a good look on your end, especially when you sent the invitation. You already used up excuses like not wanting to deal with the fallout. Not only did you state in our DMs you never cared about backlash, but at 54 minutes and 33 seconds in a Twitter space, you said this.
And I just want to say something really quickly. I'm sorry. But at the time when it happened, all I was thinking about was Marquise, his sponsor, and his brand. And I was also thinking about how this shit goes when it is brought forth. Like, look how a lot of people acted when this was brought forth. Who wants to willingly do that?
Strangely, after your plan ran its course, one of the women who initially supported you said she couldn't anymore. That you weaponized a sensitive topic and your narrative wasn't for justice, but a clear personal vendetta. So what did you do after she did this? That's right, you dragged her because she no longer wanted to be part of your narrative. You conjure up this grand plan to accuse Marcus of sexual assault with the goal being not to get justice from the legal system, no. Just to garner enough support to force him out of the community. I mean, you even said it yourself. It was never about being believed. It was about awareness for other women. Did you actually want justice for you and other women? Or did you want a surefire path to net some new customers because trucking wasn't working out like you planned? Did you expect everyone to forget how you accused someone of sexual assault? Newsflash, Coco, we didn't forget. You basically ran a movement to smear Shinblade's name. He has whiskey dick, he's a liar, a manipulator, a narcissist. While others continue running with the narrative you spun even now. The only TOs I will respect are Timmy and Javi for being the most reasonable in this entire situation. But you said they didn't care. Even when Rick, Jabali, and Ton considered barring Shinblade from their events, you still complained like an entitled bitch. You constantly fought with anyone who wouldn't agree with you. You practically lied when you said your cause was for spreading awareness for women, since said awareness only spread to those in your circle. But now that Shinblade is trying to fight against what he perceives as defamation that you and your white lightning cuck spread, now you're saying let Shinblade play. I really want you to say I'm doing this for clout, as if your claim to fame wasn't sucking dick for fun and pissing on people for money. Your biggest highlight is being a washed up sex worker with childhood trauma that accused someone of sexual assault. Hope you had fun getting the most attention you'll ever have in your entire life. You know your followers don't care about your alleged assault, right? They care if you can make them bust in 30 seconds or less. But then again, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe everything I've come across was just one big coincidence and I'm the obsessed individual angel in the group you said I am. For the most part, I was respectful. I actually felt bad for you since you brought up being molested as a child and how your mom minimized your experience. I am the only one who brought that up when talking about this. People supported you, rallied by your side, but you didn't care. You never did. It was all just a means to an end to get Shinblade removed from tournaments because you felt played. Well, congratulations, you got what you wanted. Although none of you are prepared for what's to come. It'll only be a matter of time before you block anyone you can, change your names, lock or deactivate your accounts while you run a blue sky. Or better yet, realize you're out of harassment trap cards and crawl back to the group of people somehow still delusional enough to hear what you have to say. You'll probably say something like, I made videos that spread lies about you, even though none of you can find a single lie I made in any of my videos. Everything I sourced was from your accounts. At best, Stories like Moni getting handsy with a minor and the shitty adventures of Max are hearsay. Because if I'm lying, that would mean the main story itself, the many allegations against Shinblade, along with everyone who chose to involve themselves, is one big lie. Oh, I'm sorry, Makoto Muffins. Sexual assault isn't that deep? You know what? That's a good point. Who cares if a woman at an FGC event might have been sexually assaulted by a longtime member in the Tekken community? I shouldn't have wasted my time documenting it. Women don't need to be safe in a male-dominated space. Don't bother explaining yourself. Angel's not gonna fuck you unless you can afford it. And honestly, you can do so much better. Finally, there's Zuzu. Aside from being annoyingly obsessive about Angel's sex history, you were the most cooperative. Thanks for having your head on straight. I like you. You're cool. The same goes for Tex. I gotta thank you both for actually choosing to have a conversation with me. I don't want to get ahead of myself in terms of who should be banned, but at the very least, I think it's fair to say we punished Angel and Co for the group chat and doxing Shadow Law. There's no excuse not to. For spraying the dox and inciting further harassment, I'd suggest either a mandatory suspension from any and all competitive play for about a year or two for Chlote4T8 and Shadow, on top of being dropped from their sponsors, or a permanent ban cause fuck them, that's why. As for the other background characters who did the same, along with Moni, Halos, Max Ninja, and whoever else was in those group chats, permabans across the board because this is unacceptable behavior. No one's gonna miss any of these people. They don't compete, and even when they do, they come up with piddling results. I'm willing to work with TOs to make sure everybody receives a suitable punishment, but knowing how the FGC is now, I seriously doubt any of that is going to happen. I'm expecting slaps on the wrist for Shadow and Cuddlecore, evidence being wiped, a long list of esports apologies, and in replies from the accusers ranging from deflection, subtweets, or silence. If we're going to allow people to waltz into the fighting game space and accuse someone of heinous crimes, demonize the accused due to social pressure, or give preferential treatment to certain people, then the FGC is beyond fucked. I've done my part by hemorrhaging whatever arguments they may have left, but we're not out of the woods yet. There's still no telling what the outcome will be. But if you ask me, with the lack of evidence from the accusers, on top of the multitude of other things they've done, I think we all know where this is headed. If I could force my hand and make something happen, I would. But I'm gonna be real, I don't think a lot of people care, not to the extent I did. So instead of me going through some long-winded rant, I'll end things off with one final message. I'm gonna keep doing what I've always done. Find topics that make good videos. Tolerating everyone's nonsense won't keep me from reaching out to anyone involved in stories like this in the future. I'm going to do what I have to do in order to do my research. I don't care who you are, what connections you have in whatever community, or whether people know you exist or not. If you've done something that needs to be called out, I'll call you out on it. As far as I'm concerned, the current era of the FGC is just an arms race to see who can look morally superior compared to their peers. I want to address the accusers one last time. This isn't an invitation for anyone to take actions against you if it's not related to a ban. I just hope you'll hear what I have to say just this once. Clearly, none of you have the agency to do the easy part for yourselves. So get your army of white knights and mindless simps to stand up for you, then watch whatever story you bring to social media be greeted with overwhelming vitriol instead of support. When you end up angrily shouting at your camera protesting how you're being harassed, or you're in complete disbelief why no one is buying your story, maybe then the reality you'll never be believed will have finally settled in. You can't blame Shinblade, Zuzu, TOs, those against you, and you sure as shit can't blame me when all everyone is gonna see are a bunch of chopped fat bitches with their simps crying wolf. Your actions have defined how you'll be perceived in the future, and you can only blame yourselves. There's a saying I came up with that perfectly encapsulates this entire situation. Misconstruing information, fabricating lies, and feigning ignorance are deeply unethical behaviors. Playing innocent while engaging in deceitful practices is wrong and undermines trust and integrity. The next time you decide to come out with another story, don't bother. Next time, call the police. And don't wait 7 months to say anything about it either.